Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by to the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the center. Shows me in, so fuck it. Looks like it's just me now. Oh, a little more. All right, I guess everything is explained, so I just go from here. What's happening? Whoever watching, thank you. Tonight's special beer, we changed it up just a little bit because the store didn't have the Elliott Nest. But you know, if they don't have the Elliott Nest, they still had the Edmund Fitzgerald. Now, do you know the story about the Edmund Fitzgerald? It is a song. There's a song out there called the Edmund Fitzgerald. And what what happened to the Edmund Fitzgerald, if I remember right, is it sunk in Lake Michigan. This was one of the biggest ships, far as storage ships, cargo ships, and all the passengers died. And they've been able to go because Lake Michigan is one of the deepest, not only one of the biggest lakes in the world, it's one of the deepest, and they've been able to locate, but everybody on the ship died. So this is a porter, which means the malts are a little more toasted. So, and I don't know if so. Yeah. Okay. Let it go. Strange. And so, pop them if you got them. And as you look at me pour this rich porter into my exclusive Killian's Red glass, because there's nobody watching right now that has this glass. Look in your glass cabinet. You don't have this glass. I do. And nor do you have this delicious porter in your hand. And it just makes you wish that you was me right now. You really wish you were me right now, holding this delicious porter in your hand in this Killian's Red glass. You really wish you were me. But that's okay. We love you because you are you. And as most nights, we are going with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going with the Unicorn Luca. So smoke them if you want them. And as it gets ready, this has been a good day. Good day in a lot of ways. Every day is a good day. You raise your vibrations high, and you just feed off of that. And the final thing is, again, we're into the Blondie acid. It's the sweet cigars that you can suck on and they don't fall apart. And they give you the nice bag to keep it moist. Never smoked tobacco. I mean, like a cigar once every 4 or 5 years. Very rare that I would smoke these suckers. But my whole life I was around dudes that would suck on them. Used to work with old Cat. Old Cat I had a 357 J frame, 357 Magnum. I told him I wanted ivory handles. He was such a hustler, he went out and found them. I had some shit look like General Patton shit. Had a J frame 357 with fucking ivory handles. Just because I was talking shit, He wouldn't got that stuff for me. And I paid $150 for that gun. The ivory handles cost me about $25. It wasn't that much. And again, this was 1981, 82, maybe. Paid $150 for the gun. Ivory handles, 25 to 30, maybe 50. Oops. I forgot to turn my fan on. I'm going to turn that on. Get the mic hot in here. Hey. Okay. OTF. Hits different. Lorenzo. Hits different. Thank you. Bear Buzz. Hits different. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Lorenzo, did you see the fight? Man, did you see the fight? Did you see that kidney punch he hit that dude with? Man, he hit him with a kidney punch, and he followed it up with a left jab to the solar plexus. He knocked him down in the second round. I'll tell you though, Lopez got him in the first round. Lopez had him a little off balance in the first round. And maybe he was off balance, but Lopez had him a little off balance in the first round, but he smacked him like a nice, it was a counter punch, it was like a 1-2 counter punch and knocked him down. But he stopped him, dude quit, but it was that punch in the fifth round. What did he quit in the seventh round? But if you really watch the fifth round when he hits him in the kidneys and he follows up and hits him. Man, the dude squashed like he hit him with that punch. It hurt me sitting down. He was like, he threw that punch, and I was like, ooh, I felt it. But you saw what his back did. And I do want to do some research, a little research. Okay, that ain't hurt nothing. So I don't know if y'all watched that. That was kind of entertaining. Uh, yeah, it wasn't a lot of action. But some hard ass punches dude had to endure, and he couldn't endure it very well. But I wanted to look up one thing to see if I can find it and what it really means. Because, they want to show this stuff, and this stuff is used as kind of propaganda. It's kind of used as propaganda, so we should consider why the propaganda. So let's see if this comes up. And then I'll try to search it and show other pictures of it. Because there's always different meanings. Okay, maybe. So just bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let's see. Maybe not. Okay. No. It's not that. It is something else. Nothing under that. Oh. Maybe it's this. Christian render words of why. That ain't really what I'm looking for, but well, let's see if we can search this up. See if we can search this up. You mean Garcia? I had to work tonight, but I did see the highlights. Yeah. Man, hey, go look up on YouTube. Lorenzo, go look up on YouTube and look at the highlights. Look at the highlights, but look at the fifth round. The fifth round is where he destroys him in the fifth round. I mean, again, kind of slow fight. They was really filling each other out. But look at the fifth round where he hits him in the kidneys. It's like kind of the end of the fifth round. He hits him in the kidneys and he hits him with a body shot. And that's the fight right there. When he hit him with them two punches, Garcia was done. OTF says, you see them turn off the magnets for Memphis, 9 points in the first quarter. Well, everyone's saying that, we already see the Charles Barkley, and Charles Barkley is mostly wrong most of the time, saying that he said they was going to make the Western Conference Finals. Let me see if I can search this, though. Crown, cross, and sword. Because that's what Garcia was wearing. Let's see if I can find this shit. I found it. I did find it. Yeah, it's nothing's, it probably got other variations. I don't know if y'all was paying attention, but this is what Danny Garcia had on his back. He was rocking this. Now, again, we know most the Brown brothers are Catholics. And any other versions? It's kind of, his last cross is kind of like this, because there's two crosses, as I showed you the first two, the last one's like this. So he has, this is interesting. So he has these up top. He has this up top. You dig? Took me a second to figure it out. Danny Garcia on his back had this up top, and he had, where's it at? He had this on the bottom. He had this on the bottom. Now, according to this, okay. Again, this is The illustrated book of, well, let me bring it back. All right. So according to this book, this and this, what it means is, it means cross and crown, a Christian symbol. The cross and crown is a reminder of the rewards that come in heaven. The crown, after the tribulations of life, the cross are over. Some later days, some later day Knights Templar organizations use this symbol. Later day. So that's interesting that this is shown. So I thought that was interesting that, you know, you had I guess Mexican American, I don't know, Mexican cat, you know, really showing that. So I didn't even know the Knights Templar. So that's interesting. It has a little Knights Templar flavor to it. So that is real interesting. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that. I just kind of wanted to look it up for myself. Lorenzo says that shot is more brutal and slow mo. Oh, Lorenzo. Yeah, I watched that shot. Man, I watched that shot for about 4 or 5 minutes. I kept rerunning it back and forth because it was like he hit him with that. I was like, oh, that was because when he hit him with that, I was like, I reacted. Because if you watch his back, when he hits him, his back like arches because you could see how he absorbed it. But he hurt him with the kidney shot. That kidney shot, he hit him with his right hand lead in the kidneys, and then when he squared around, pow, right in the solar plexus, and you just saw him. Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, that was, man. That was some brilliant fight. Like even when he hit him, he countered him. When he knocked him down in the second round, he countered him. That was a counter punch, 1-2. Dude couldn't even take it. The first time he got touched, he got knocked down. That was the first time he got touched and it knocked him down. Now he did in the first round, he had Tank a little bit, but shit, Tank is my man. You can see them turn off the Magnus, yeah, in the first quarter. I was just saying dumb shit on these Clippers. They had zero chance of winning, even if they were fully healthy. I agree. Wondering what's on Garcia's back. Yeah, that's what it was, man. That's what I was thinking. I'm looking at this and I'm like, what does this mean? So I'd come up here and have to look. I'm a little loud. I knew I'd have to come up here and look at it, but yeah, that's what it means. It's the crown is what did it say, on heaven, and the cross is the tribulations or what's waiting for you, you know, and that he would rock that because it was two symbols in one. You know, it was really two symbols in one. Um, ah, so Sir Ray Williams, when you join, it's different. LeBron flopping. But okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Now, why did last game Harding hit somebody in the crotch? Harding hit dude in the crotch. Last game, Harding hit dude in the crotch. Got put out the game. Tonight, dude hit LeBron in the crotch. I mean, what is the agenda there? Why are they showing that? Why are they showing the purposeful crotch punches? Why is that? So, I don't know. That's suspect to me. So I like, well, what is this? I mean, this can't be 2 games in a row. The guy's just so anxious to punch up guys in the crotch. They purposely showed them talk before the game, and you know Brooks just stood up to LeBron's face. So that is kind of bogus in itself. Like why? Uh Looks like they scripting Lakers Suns. That could be. Plus Tank busted his nose. He more likely got a broken nose. Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw he was breathing out his mouth real heavy. You see when he was started breathing out his mouth. So that's when you saw that because Tank had no fear. Like in the first round was the only time he got Tank off balance. That's it. Tank just didn't follow his rhythm and got a little off balance. But yeah, yeah. You see, he's breathing out his mouth because he couldn't breathe out his nose. But watch him. He's breathing about the fifth round. No, actually, by the fourth round, he's breathing out his mouth. Watch him. Watch Garcia. He is breathing out his mouth. Maybe even after he got knocked down. But yeah, he was breathing out his mouth. And that's a telltale sign. It was like when he was breathing out his mouth, it was too early for him to be breathing out of his mouth. I was like, wow, this dude just hurt. And he talked all that stuff. And to take nothing away from him, I mean, he fought a great fighter. I mean, they're both little dudes, but I mean, Tank looked really good. Tank looked really good, figuring him out. And I mean, his hands, when he releases them. Now, that little weird dance he did, I don't know what to say about that the other day, but hey, that's what makes you great, then dance your ass off. Brian, history of flopping fouls on Brooks. Tonight he got more weak ejection, and Tank was playing with his food tonight. Yeah, Tank looked good. Tank looked good. Yeah, I'm not saying LeBron's not flopping, but I'm just saying that's an agenda. For him to hit him in the crotch area is scripted. It's made for him to do that. You dig? It was made for them to do that because James Harden did the same thing. You see? So that was in it. But yeah, Tank looked good. That was I'm gonna go watch it again. Cause it's just you rewatch fights over and over again. It's little things that you don't see. And I love just rerunning plays. Shit, I had my fiance. We was just rerunning that play where he hit a kidney shot, followed with the body shot. Oh, that was beautiful. That hype that gives me hype. That gives me hype, y'all. We need that wake up there. So we're gonna see the temp. So we saw one team eliminated today. We saw the Nets eliminated, which is no surprise. We know that they got eliminated, but they gave them the respect of letting them make the playoffs. You know, they still made them a respectable team. Despite all the losses, the newer people came in half season and still played decent enough for them to get a playoff run. So, and then we're gonna see the Timberwolves more than likely get knocked off tomorrow. I just don't see how they're gonna turn around anything. Um, So that's what anticipated. The other team that's 0 and 3 is gonna get knocked off at home tomorrow. So it'll give them a little rest. So we'll see how it turns out tomorrow. Um, Phoenix looked good today. They all played together. They made Chris Paul look better. He looks lost out there a lot of times, but Durant played well, and so did Booker. I mean, Booker put it on him last game, and Booker put it on him again. They held Kawhi out again. Not sure about that, but that was reality. He didn't play, so that was a pretty good game. Um, but yeah, I was out most of the day. I was watching most of the game on the phone, the early games. We did some real business today, and so I was gone most of the day, y'all. I was out and about. Y'all forget these Twin Cities is vast. This place is damn near an hour away. They're still in the Twin Cities. So I was doing that kind of business. But a very positive day. Uh Tank and Haney is the money fight. Well, I'd like to see the pay-per-view numbers tonight. I'd like to see those numbers and see what they pulled, and that's what's going to determine the next fight is what did he pull? So, yeah. What did they pull tonight? What is their final numbers? Oh, do miss when the first round was 3 out of 5. Yeah, yeah. Because remember when Jordan and them played the Heat and they knocked the Heat out in 3 games. I mean, it progressed the series better. But the reason why they switched it to 7 games is economical. It's purely economical. They want it's more games is more money. And the only time I've been wrong with that is when the Pistons got beat by the San Antonio. I thought that for the ratings that was going to be a quick series. And what was it? Instead of it being, trying to think what year that was. Instead of it being 4-0, it was 4-1, maybe 4-2, something like that, when it surely really been swept. And maybe I'm getting years mixed up. But it was like as I said before, the San Antonio series was so bad, and that's why I'm saying this. It was like one of them series, those 5 championships. It was one series where, oh man, what was it? But it was, man, maybe I won't even say it was the shortened season where really they should have swept, and because man, the way the playoffs was even messed up. But they should have swept. Maybe they swept. Maybe that was what it was. The shortened season, San Antonio swept instead of them putting the games to, and it was like some of the lowest rated games of all time. In any of their championships, even when they lost, LeBron beat them. It was still, they were very low rated games. So, but that was the one time I was wrong in saying, that the NBA wanted to make more money and that the season was going to go, that the championship was going to go on longer because of uh, the money and the revenues. But I would say the 20 years since then has been on the money ever since, how they want to make money off these games. And I guess in their own way, the play in is a way of letting more teams have a chance instead of just saying having just an open tournament and letting everybody come in. Because the NBA is silly that they don't do that. That they don't start the season with just an open tournament. That's how the season should start. Just like the Daytona 500 is the top race of NASCAR, their top race of the year is the very first race. If you follow NASCAR, and of course they've got a championship later, it's not bigger than that first race. It's really not. Follow it, all that. Their Super Bowl is their very first race. So if the NBA started off, maybe have 10 games, let everybody get ready, and then have a tournament, a straight everybody. You could say double elimination, however you want to do it, and the first part of the season is a tournament. Then that the mid season before the All-Star break, you have a tournament, a champion that did the tournament, and then you play some regular season games after that, the second half. If the NBA had a one and done concept, and they should have adapted this years ago as a business model, and the players have tried to push for this, they would have. I mean, the numbers and the numbers that the college does because of this one and done thing is unheard of, and the NBA could do the same thing. And I don't understand why they don't want their product to do that. I mean, you got college scripting games for years, one and done. And you're telling me that people wouldn't be excited about NBA one and done? Now, I understand there's so many games like baseball. There's so many games you have to have a series. I understand that. But on the other hand, the thing that college has been profiting off at least since, well, let's say Jabbar's last year, at least since Sidney Wixon won the championship. What is that, 69-70 or 70-71? Yeah, it must have been 69-70 when Sidney Wixon won. Ever since then, the Final Four has been bigger in some ways than in the NBA. And why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you take advantage of one and done, opening the season like that? Play some preseason warm-ups or scrimmage some of them other teams from across the world. You start his one and done for 30 games. Or I guess it would be 15 games. You'd have to. So why not do that? Why not start the season? And you could even, the teams that lose could even come, have a loser's bracket. And so the loser's bracket, you can play to get back in. Because that's usually how you do most tournaments. And that's how you would do it. Just expand a little bit instead of just one and done, and just say, okay, you won and you go into the loser's bracket, since we do have 32 teams. So you have one and done. So you have one, you lose, you go in the loser's bracket, the winners keep going. And the ones that come through the loser's bracket can come back and play in. And that way, it would be exciting for the people. You can script it like that. And people would love that. Uh mm, the Nets last 8 lost. The Nets last 8 have lost 8. I think that's what you mean. The Nets have lost 8 straight playoff games. Wow. Kawhi's script is funny. He did it. He did it 2 years ago, and now where he supposedly gets hurt, misses the playoffs, and they don't show it on screen. Why didn't he just retire? Yeah. Chiefs guy. It's different. Now he's always sits out. He does. In order, was Lawrence for Tank Davis, Devin Haney fight. Devin Haney would have to beat Valley Lachenko in May. That is a good point because that's coming up. That is coming up. Kawhi's sister in jail for life for murdering a woman. Yeah, I remember that. I think Sly talked about that a couple years ago. Yeah, and I might have talked about that on my other channel, but yeah, I remember that. I definitely remember that. College basketball, their season off with a tournament, the Maui tournament. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Lorenzo. Yeah, the Maui tournament. Exactly. I mean, it's just more than that. Even high schools do that. My nephew this year, that's how they started off, playing tournaments. And so I'm not sure why the NBA is not adapting that. You've got to make your sport grow, and they're not doing that. Script is so bad even that, and I'll say this is like something you don't even see anymore is you don't see the NBA teams like playing preseason games in different cities. Because I grew up, that's how I got to see a bunch of cats. I saw Bill Russell the first time play in Kalamazoo in a preseason game. I was probably in third grade, and we went to a game, and it was just funny. It's like we in this little bitty gym. It was a high school gym, or maybe the small. It wasn't a Western. Maybe think back, maybe it was a Western. And we was all sitting right behind the bench. And one of the cats that worked at GM with my dad was also a barber. So when he wasn't working at GM, he was also a barber. He had his own business. But he got that GM bread too. And everybody at GM got their hair cut through him. But he was sitting by and he's like, Bill Russell's hair was like, how dudes now say their hair looked uncombed. Man, he had BB shots all up his neck. And Joe Bazell was like, hey, Bill. And Bill kind of looked back. He's like, I do hair. I'd get all them BB shots off your neck. And the whole crowd kind of laughed. But I got to see Bill Russell hoop in preseason. And my point is they don't do this hardly. They don't hold these preseason games where people can just come see him, It's like people forget it used to be barnstorming. I was reading some shit where Babe Ruth got suspended for some games for barnstorming and making money that the National League wasn't making. Because that's what the Negro League and how the brothers survived with Satchel Paige and them. They was making money playing baseball everywhere. They took pro baseball everywhere. And the Globetrotters did the closest to doing this too. They took it around the world. But the Negro Leagues players, Big Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars, they took baseball everywhere. And that's how pro sports used to be. Everybody eventually got to see a pro sport in your town. That's what barnstorming was. That's what it was about. It's about to bring the pros to where you lived. Some people, years ago lived out in the boonies, couldn't go see a pro game. So they started taking them to the towns. I saw a game against the I don't know if you guys understand this, but pro football teams used to sponsor semi-pro basketball teams. Did y'all know that? Do I need to say that again? Pro football teams sponsored semi-pro basketball teams. Pro football players would play a season of semi-pro basketball. I saw some of the Detroit Lions playing like this. You can look up pictures before Ernie Davis died. Ernie Davis was playing, they wouldn't let him play football, but he was still playing semi-pro basketball for the Browns. That was the only thing they really let him do before he died of leukemia. So this is what some of them did in the off seasons. You did? Oh.
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
That's what fighting the power is all about. If you don't know who the enemy is, yeah, all numbers script. Yeah, maybe the story's not just by the numbers. Many variables come into play. Oh, absolutely. It's not just by the numbers. It is. It's a moving script. As I said, the egghead in the studio, there's an egghead man in something like this where he's got multiple screens, he's got all the bets, and he can handle it. It ain't an AI, it is the egghead dude that can handle it all. What did we see? And what was it called? Um, ah, anyway, it was Dutch Schultz, Numbers Runners, and he told you how they could fix the numbers right in the movie. Remember Dutch Schultz, Numbers Runner, or his banker? He was looking at the policy, which is just the 3-4 digit. And he said right there, he said, well, we can set it up just like this and we'll fix it like that. He's like, well, what if we got to pay out? Oh, he said, that's no problem. We can fix it at the end and flip the numbers. So we never lose. So it's people that intelligent in tune to these games that they can put these smart computer dudes just like they play the games on the videos. I mean, it's almost, you got to look at that kind of mentality of people who program these games. Why every Super Bowl do they show you the game version, the video game version of the Super Bowl? Because they've played it a million times and they look at the variables. I mean, what did Doctor Strange say? I've did a million different, out conclusions or outcomes. You don't think they do that with these games? You don't think they see what did I tell you say all the time about what about the games? Look at what they did to the girls' game, the women's basketball. They made a story up about racism and it kept it alive longer. And that's what they love. Because they build up all this and they want to see how much longer that it can live after the actual event. So this is some old I've been, sharing about. And so that's what they were trying to do. Make some live. Um, there were a game where they gave a team extra points where they didn't score. I saw it. Yeah, I've caught that over the years. Yeah, over the years, I've watched games where points were awarded that wasn't shouldn't have been awarded. Basketball probably the most if you really catch, but a few football games where it was some points awarded too. And there's never been any explanation of why the points were awarded. Where you actually, I mean, a lot of people don't keep track of that, but if you actually keep track and where it's like, wait a minute, the score was such and such, why did they change the score? And there's never explanation. Well, it was funny in the Miami game. Do y'all remember when Bam got a rebound? Like Bam got a rebound, and when he controlled the ball, he took a couple bounces, and everybody ran down court, even the refs. Did anybody catch that? It was maybe in the first, second quarter. Bam gets a rebound. He takes a couple dribbles to gather himself, and he stops. And everybody runs down court. The referees and everybody, even the trail official, all of them start running down court. So you know what Bam does? He starts dribbling again, and they didn't call double dribble. Did anybody else catch that? I was like, damn. It was like blatant that he dribbled. Blatant. He got the rebound, but he kind of flubbed the ball. He took 2 or 3 dribbles, and he gathered himself. Then he turns up, and everybody runs down court. And it's obvious that he can't dribble again, but yet he dribbles, and nothing is called. Even the trail official beat him down court. I was like, damn, this is just plain silly. This is just plain silly. Uh, mm. Lorenzo said the women's national game was race related from the beginning to end. Somewhat, I would say somewhat. I've only seen it in NBA. Nah, I've caught it in football too. I've caught that in football too. Yeah, I've definitely caught some of the points in football. Can't say baseball, but I've caught it in football and I've caught it in basketball. And in basketball, it's like even the TV score, because the TV score isn't the official score; it's the TV score. But it's like it's been where I've watched in the years where the TV score, and then they look at the score in the stadium, because again, the TV score is not necessarily the score that's in the stadium. Olden days, they would show a shot of the official score, but they don't do that anymore. That's how they did in the olden days. They would put the official score in a little box, so you watching the official score. No, now they give you the TV score. The TV score with the TV time. It is not what's going on in the stadium, and it's a delay from what you're seeing too. It's a tape delay. So yeah, it's been points in football and basketball. Can't say baseball, but yeah, football I've caught point differentials over the years. Again, this is the course of over years, and it's you question like, wait a minute, the quarter or a different play, and it's like, wait a minute, the score was this and this. So yeah, I'm assessing. Um, if the Lakers face W's Western Conference Finals and go to 6 games, they would have played a combined 74 games against each other in the playoffs, 74 each 4-7. Damn, good work.
Joe Beach. Yes, he destroyed.
Woo, that hit hard. How hard is the hit? We want it to come in harder. We want that. Yeah, good work. Suns gonna play the same teams they did in the 21, but backwards. Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers. Wow. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. And breaking these games down, you got to have one thing.
You got to have vision.
Breaking these things down, you got to have.
You got to have vision.
You cannot be a product of the matrix. You got to have.
You got to have vision.
And having visions means.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches?
When Westbrook played for the Thunder, he's ass. Just walk with the ball in the middle of the game. The refs called travel on him so fast. Westbrook started hitting threes like he was, oh my goodness, yeah. You can see, like even, I tell you, the Westbrook, when he was breaking Oscar Robertson's record, when they let him, there's footage out there still today. You can see where the other, like everybody boxed out for Westbrook. Do y'all remember that? Everybody would, like, it was like no one else would go for these rebounds. It was manufactured. Now I'll say, when we look at records, some of these old dudes, even though the games were script, they weren't as manufactured as what we see. For Oscar Robertson to get a triple-double, again, it was not a big thing. Do you understand what I'm telling you? When Oscar Robertson got his triple-double, it was not noticeable. He did not get a bonus. He got nothing for doing it. It was just he had a good year. He was all-star. He was all-pro. Do you understand? When Westbrook did it, it was a big thing. There was a push for him to do it. And there's games that show you where no one else was going for the ball but Westbrook, so he could get his rebounds. I mean, it was just ridiculous how scripted it was, and it wasn't natural. And again, you've got to look at Oscar Robertson as being natural from the fact that it wasn't a big thing. I mean, even if you look at this, the monster season Wilt had, you talk about who had the best season ever. When Wilt scored 50, that was the best season of anybody ever had. Nothing Jordan did in a regular season surpassed what Wilt did in the regular season. He averaged 50 points a game, something like 20 rebounds. I mean, nothing's ever going to surpass that. And you can say, how much did they win? That didn't matter. That man put it up every night. You know what I mean? Look at the number of 60 points, 70-point games. For 85 games, he played every game. Not sure, but he played every game. Do you understand? So, it was some monsters out there, y'all. Harlem River Drive. I'm talking about the last game. Westbrook's hitting threes. Y'all know what you're talking about. Maples looking like Raptors in the finals. Did you catch the end of? We was at the restaurant. We caught the Las Vegas. Las Vegas won in overtime. I caught that one. I caught Las Vegas winning overtime tonight. I was at the restaurant. Rangers lost, yeah. But Vegas won. I caught that one. So that was the only little bit of hockey. So I was watching that one, and then the Heat came on. That game came on. So yeah. Probably gonna get hit for this, but it's funny. Yeah, Westbrook makes threes, and he's one of the worst shooters. Just, one thing I used to do on my old channel is break down shooting technique and why people shouldn't be successful and why certain shots shouldn't be successful. I know we break down, the vortex and the different angles of the shooting and the drop. The vortex is where it drops from. And you have to look at mechanics, like shooting mechanics as well. How successful a shot should be is looking at shooting mechanics, because the way the energy is, it's a certain energy to make a successful shot, and consistently, without magnetics helping, that the same energy is put in every shot. So therefore, when you see a different, so when the people miss, because it's a variation in the shot, and this is proven. This is proven. So what we see when we see variations of the shot that should miss, what we're seeing is shots that are successful. But if you break the shot down mechanically, now I know we show the angles and we show the vectors, but it also breaks down to simple mechanics on how a shot should be successful. Now I showed a simple one that was probably untouched by Vinny DiVincenzo. He threw the one up, and that's it. You can bank it to the top of the square, and you can bank it and it'll go in. So some of these things can be, real. You put it up over a 7-footer. There's a spot he can't get it. You throw it high enough, and you play against dudes that shot block. I throw the ball up 15 feet in the air over the basket, it'll still go in. But mechanics do not change. And so when you look at the mechanics on how successful a shot should be, especially a 3-point shot, and you see these bad mechanics and these shots still going in, that's the suspect right there. Even by them breaking it down, you can see videos by them that the NBA and the NCAA sponsor how shots shouldn't be successful because of mechanics. Yet we're seeing shots successful despite of that. Steph can throw his legs out sideways and still hit a shot, when mechanically that's an impossibility. You have changed what you do to make you successful. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have changed by their own standard on how successful you can be on a mechanical level. Muscle memory, doing this. That's what muscle memory is. You do the same thing over and over and over again. And they show that failure comes because of the lack of continuous of muscle memory. So if you don't do something exactly the same way, you should not be successful. It's that simple. It's that simple. And yet, what do we see over and over again? And that's why I don't make videos like that anymore. I've proven my point. We know that they can alter shots through magnets and a missile technology. And this has been going on since at least 1968-69 season, Bill Russell's last year. Now I've discovered something in one of those games that no one else has brought up, and I've got to show that. Because it shows you how long this system has been manipulated. And then again, if you want to go look at reference, we see the Don Nelson shot, and then he turns around, we see the Jerry West shot. Then we see in 85, we see the Ralph Sampson shot. Ralph Sampson just catches it like a hot potato and throws it in the air. And it beat a very good Laker team. That Laker team would have beat Larry Bird. What was that, 82? That they would have beat them. Well, guys, I've got to take a personal break. How long have I been going? Not very long. I got to pee already. Damn, I'm an old guy, though. So y'all give me a few minutes, and I will give you a little bit of me at another time, in another place, in another vibration. Let's see what I'm talking about here. All right. And y'all give me a few minutes to go to the bathroom. And give me a chance to stand up. I'm paying myself. Let the commercials go. All right. Give me a few minutes. Here right now, Jackson has the Trotters. I used to
my ex-wife's father had a table. You know, you ever go to where, you know, they run, you can get booths. This nigga had a table. Every time we went to the same spot. If you see what I'm saying, you gamble on the horses and shit. And so this is a worldwide horse. You know, this horse was known worldwide, breaking the mile, I think, and whatever for trotting. So it was a fast horse. The horse is probably looked at three greatest horses probably of all time. It's Secretariat, Man of War, and I think you can argue that Dan Patch is probably in there for his group. Again, a trotter, not a full-out sprinter. So that's the energy that came in. So that's very positive. Here's this, and what's funny is if you look at the owner of Man of War, my brother saw Man of War in Kentucky. We went there. I don't know if he remembers or not. We saw Secretariat too. But one thing is about Man of War and Dan Patch, which is interesting and show you how connected you can be to animals. When Dan Patch died, his owner died within 2-3 weeks, or it's the opposite. And the same thing of Man of War. One of them died, and then the other one died. Yep. Hey, General Peace. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just a little coat. This is actually a little coat. This is a little coat, vintage, whatever you call it, vintage wear. So sells at Macy's. I'll wait till that shit goes on sale and get it. So that's the energy I've been working with. I figured that out. It is that horse, and he's just positive. He has some positive things, just to add. And it's kind of like sometimes when you move to places, you live in places, there's this energy going around, and then they welcome you. That you recognize energy and that you could tap into it, because everybody can't tap into it. Well, thank you, General Peace. Thank you. And it's funny, I know years, and then there's people that still argue about all these politics, thinking that these are anything separate. I mean, right now, the 2 year.
All right, I'm back. I had to pee. I'm sorry. Give you some older content. Yeah. That didn't matter. Shut it off. Oh, like yesterday I was talking about being in the hospital, and not me in the hospital, but my son was getting some shit done. So we was up in the hospital, and it's two babies that it appeared like they both had respiratory ailments, really. And not telling it, that you think of me any kind of way, because it's not told like that. And what I'm just telling you is just what I felt, what I try to do, because again, when you're a healer, you're an empath and all that, you can't heal everyone, and you don't want to feel everyone's energy. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. You have to turn it off sometimes, and it's a lot that needs to be done. Like even if you look at like what a God is, and so many people in peril at a hospital, and the crises that would even try to crack into that consciousness, and it makes you look at woo. They talk about the greatest stories ever told. One of the most inspirational stories really ever told is and let me see how I can put it in modern frame. And this is not preaching or anything. It's just looking at this as a story. So it's like one of the people was able to start to just go to the people and start to heal the people, because there was a time where everything was so bad that there was so much sickness and so much filth that people easily got sick, because it just civilization didn't understand how to keep everything clean. And so there was just one individual that was able to go and kind of help everything get clean, and at the same time he was healing people. And so then when he gathered his own people, because even when you heal all day, you have to gather yourself and recharge your energy. And all his guys looked at him and was like, damn, you can really do this? Can you help us do this? I mean, is that one of the most noblest things ever, of all the powers that could be given in the world, that people wanted to go out and make the sick better? Not gold, not riches, not to be a king. Can you give me the power to cure people, to heal people? Because if we live in a world that is so many people sick and need to be healed, and one person has this energy that just naturally heals, and others seek that. And if you can put that upon others, and that's the thing they seek, not a selfish kind of thing. It's like we want to go help society on a massive level. We want to do exactly what you did. And we don't want anything paid. We just want to seek and heal any society we come to, any village, any peoples that is downridden and ain't being productive. We want to go to these people and we want to heal these people. And so that is one of the most inspirational stories of all time. And that's not taking sides. That's looking at what ultimate power is and how the others want the power. Because in most times someone would look selfishly. That's a selfish kind of thing. Because you never know what you have to see to heal. To blindly say, I want to heal is a great kind of way of looking at it. Because again, you can't foresee what you have to heal. But knowing no matter what you see, you have the ability to heal that is a hell of a confidence. And you kind of have to look at that as a civilization, builder shit. uh, uh, Vikings content. Vintage content. Oh, indeed. You thought Magnus was created in the 90s? Nah, they was actually created in the 69-70 season. That was the first time they was able to manipulate shots. And they was only able to manipulate just one shot, it appears. And then when you see 1970, you see, actually in 69, you see him manipulate actually two shots. In 70, you see him manipulate the Jerry West shot. And I mean, that Jerry West shot is the most ridiculous shot of all time. I mean, he literally launches it from the 3-point, like the top. He literally launches the shot from the top of the key of the other basket. And as Lobo has pointed out, as you see the ball fly, you see the net react to the energy before the ball actually cradles in. So it's very, 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 yeah. So that was one they manipulated too. So the technology was very new. And really what you see the same thing. You see the same technology in the Kawhi shot when he played with Toronto when they beat Philadelphia. I mean, it's the same technology, the high bounce. And they had been doing that all season. And my old channel had that perfectly. That was one of the best things I had ever done. And of course, that's erased, but still, it pointed out then for those who watched then, they got to see it from that how fake that was. Because it was the same thing that they had done when they used Don Nelson the first time they used this system. So no, the system's been around since then. Now, and anyone want to you can use this any way you want to use it. It wasn't the first time you see it. The first time you see the system where the system is at the best is 85 when the Georgetown against Villanova. And what is his name? Scott Jensen, maybe that's a skater, but Jensen that played for Villanova. I mean, they shot 71% as a team, which is impossible. And not to say the teams didn't play good ball, that they didn't have a good team, but it was just ridiculous. That was the first time you saw the Nets. When you saw it fully in effect. And of course, we see the Michael Jordan shrug game. Now, if anybody, and I think I'm the most qualified, one of the most qualified people to talk about the evolution of Michael Jordan's game, because I was around. Not only I was around, I was down there in North Carolina, and where I lived in Greensboro, I went to almost all the what is that, Southeastern division was in Greensboro. You just saw it this past season. I saw everybody play. But I saw Jordan play multiple times when I was down there. And I'm kind of forgetting where I want to go with this. Yeah, I'm kind of forgetting where I want to go with this. I guess where I want to go with this is, okay, this is where I want to go with this. Michael Jordan was not to say you can't work to be a natural jump shooter, but again, what I was talking about, natural mechanics, again, shows where you shouldn't be successful. And his mechanics showed you where he really shouldn't have been a successful jump shooter. Again, look at his shot where he beats Georgetown. And I guess, why I was kind of stumbling in thought was where Len Bias would have stepped in the league better jump shooting, especially threes, because he was just, look at his natural form. I mean, look at Jordan beating Georgetown. Look at that shot. He's all in front, pushing it. He's in front, pushing it. It is not, he's not balanced. The ball's way too far up front. So his release point was too soon. But again, probably because of his jumping ability, he released it there instead of fully, balanced. But look at it in Georgetown. And as I said, point out, if you think Jordan's, fall away kick with his foot, that was Kyle Macy's shot. The shot he developed when he came back was a true copy of Kyle Macy. And again, him and Kyle Macy played together. But just look up Kyle Macy in college. Look up Kyle Macy when he played with the Bulls. And you'll see that Kyle Macy falls back and he kicks his foot forward. And look at Jordan. When Jordan comes back, falls back, kicks his foot forward. So that wasn't even, And again, muscle memory. And I would never say that you can't. I never say people can't make shots. Because if you fall away the same way and you shoot it from that same position, that's your power position, you can consistently make that shot. Some people would purposely bump into people and then fall away. It helped their rhythm. So, Corey Bellinger, who smokes on the 33rd on 420, hit a 420-foot home run, beating the odds, was 420 for his home run. Damn, I didn't know that. Never take the jab. What's happening? Ooh. Oh, shit. Welcome. Never take the jab. Hits different. Oh, what? No. Hits different. When you come in, it does what? Hits different. All right, I'm just fucking around. We can find and I don't know, like it just I did not. This is worth listening to. Let's check this out. I did not know this. For gun right advocates, this is right on. I did not hear about this, so let's share this. All right. Let's give this a play. Oh, I like her. Silk like top, hair's whipped. I approve. All right, let's hear you. Let's go. Let's do this.
For common sense gun.
Okay, let's go back.
A trio of shootings in Missouri, New York, and Texas continue to keep a necessary spotlight on our country's desperate need for common sense gun legislation. Those tragedies come in the wake of incessant mass shootings, including one at an elementary school in Nashville last month that left 6 dead, 3 of them little kids. Instead of taking any action to prevent further gun violence, Republicans in the Tennessee Senate this week passed a bill that aims to protect gun manufacturers, sellers, and dealers.
Oh, there's a slant. This isn't 50-50. There's a slant here on the news.
From lawsuits. My next guest says, quote,
a slant hits different. A slant hits different. She is being foul. What is she being? She is being foul. There's a slant in the house. Who is she for? All right, let's go.
We need to do more to protect citizens from gun violence than the people are making the guns. Joining me now is...
I thought this chick made the guns. When she first said it, I was like, she makes the guns? I'm like, who is she that she make the guns? Okay, let's see what she got to say.
Tennessee Democratic Caucus Chairwoman, Senator London.
Democratic Caucus chain. I like her chain, though. I like your Cuban, baby. Look at the earrings. You got, oh, I like it. You ain't busted down. You ready for TV. She ready for prime time, y'all. She ready for prime time.
Lamar. Senator, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Look, I personally was outraged when I read that Tennessee Republicans want to provide.
She was outraged. She was confused. She was outraged. Why was she outraged? Damn.
More protections for gun and ammunition companies. And of course, those are the same folks that.
Wait a minute. What did you say? You saying the people that make the bullets should be held accountable? It's like, well, what'd you do today? Hey, I make bullets, man. So you just make the bullets? Yeah, I just make the bullets, man. I just put the bullets in the package and I knock them in the little thing and I just package them up. But they want to sue you. They want to put you in jail. They want to put me in jail for what? They say you should go to jail because you make the bullets. Because I make the bullets, I should go to jail. I just put the powder together, baby. I just take big bags of powder and I put them in the machine. They put them in the bullets. That's really what I do. I don't really do nothing. Come on now, you gotta be real.
Voted to expel Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson just a couple of weeks ago after their peaceful protest over gun violence. Where's the protection, Senator, for our children and for others?
I'm just as confused as you are when it comes to what are we doing when it comes to protecting the very vulnerable citizens in our state.
All right, this is some bucktooth Billy bullshit. Excuse me, but that's what this is. And, we never know when we're going to run into it. We never know when we're going to run into bucktooth Billy bullshit. And that's what that was. Man, some people say, well, just because you don't agree. No, that was a slant. Tell the whole story. Don't tell me because my livelihood is I drive a forklift and I go pick up the gunpowder off the truck from another company and I take it into my company. Now you telling me I'm liable? I'm a truck driver and I got ammunition in my truck and I take it to different spots. You telling me I'm liable? I make a gun. Now think about this. Okay, let's look at it like this. I take the material into a company that makes guns. I take the polymers and I give them the metals. Am I liable? I take the polymers and I take the metals in. Am I liable? I work for a gun company and all I do is make triggers. All I do is the thing that the CNC machine to make the triggers, I just monitor it all day to make sure the triggers. How am I liable? Even the people that make the frames. Like the slides. You're telling me that the CNC machine, the person that makes sure that every slide gets CNC done right, and the quality people that do the slides, they're liable for what happens to them after they do that. That makes no sense. Like if I sell you a hammer and you bust somebody in the head with it, I ain't liable. How is that any different? If I sell you a hammer and your intention is to bust people in the head with it, like they ask you, why did you get the hammer? Because I wanted to bust people in the head. What does that got to do with me? Let's turn that to a person that got the gun. Why you got the gun? I want to shoot people. What does that have to do with the people that made the gun? Now, you can go into see who made the gun available to an unstable person. Yes, I agree. So trying to say that the suppliers, that's snowfall, Looks like they're going to get a Suggs easy route to the finals with injuries to Giannis and Embiid. Yeah, I was surprised Embiid didn't play. I was real surprised Embiid didn't play. Very much so. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. They did that for the last 20 years to the team that loses, always missing something to give that fan base an excuse why they lost. That's a pretty good way to look at it, too. And make them feel good. It's like, I wore my Eagles stuff again because it is a new NFL season. The new season starts in March. So, that's the thing. It's like once the NFL, the new season starts, it's all new. That is why I was able to wear my Eagles stuff again, even though I was humiliated. No, not at all. I wasn't humiliated at all. I got to wear my stuff during the Super Bowl game and talk shit. Doesn't matter they lost. This is in the championship game. I still get to wear my shit. I mean, that's how you look at it. It's like if you were betting and you was betting the Eagles, you rolling. And maybe you took the odds for the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? You still was intelligent about your betting, but if you rolling, you rolling, and they rolling, you rolling. If you understand how it is. uh, so yeah, they definitely do that. They definitely do that. Oh, guys, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Let me show you. Let me tell you. I could show you, but it's easier just to tell you. Damn. Okay. This is ridiculous, y'all. It is April, 23rd? It is 32 degrees outside right now. Like, all day I wore my Calvin Klein big fluffy, whatever you call that. All day. It's like freezing. 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 And check this crazy weather out, y'all. Okay, it's going to be 44 later today, 48 Monday, 50, which is nice here, 54, 55, and then snow or 70% chance rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 47, 45. I mean, it's like, how do like the days we had 3 days of 90s here. Then it gets to the weekend, it's freezing. Like literally 3 days of 90s, and then the weekend comes, it's freezing. Today, like normally I don't pump gas without gloves. I just don't. You should follow the same. Don't pump gas without gloves. Gas pumps are one of the nastiest things you can encounter. And again, gas is very hard to get off your smell. Don't get that stuff in your clothes. You're gonna change clothes. I mean, I take that serious. Getting gas, I take very serious. I don't want to get that shit on my clothes. I don't want to get that shit because sometimes, there's some people that would keep it spiked. So when you open up, you get, when you pay for it, you open up, it just starts shooting out. I've had that happen. You have to look at it to see if somebody set it up like that. And some people, it's a bit, don't use all the gas. So it'll be a little gas in the nozzle. And now they give out gloves and stuff. But so, the plastic gloves, I put about 10 on my hands. I had plastic gloves, it's about that thick. So I felt comfortable to pump gas. And it's funny, this is what people don't understand about frostbite and how people freeze to death. When you're standing out there, you don't realize how cold you are. You really don't. If you have a certain amount of insulation in, you kind of feel okay. But what happens is when you go inside and you start warming up, you see how cold your body really was, and you were really chilled. Because like I got back in the car and it was like I was like, whoa, it's like, oh my goodness, it was that cold. So it's cold up here. Yeah, and I can't complain. I love it up here. The air is fresh, but it's just interesting. We're going on 7 months of winter. And you can talk all that global warming. It ain't up here. Like right now, okay, let me I've made videos. Let's see what else they're saying about the flooding up here. Now, again, down here it's lakes and ponds everywhere. I mean, you don't have to understand when they say the land of 10,000 lakes, it's lakes and ponds everywhere. It is very common. If you wanted a property that's on a pond, it's easy to get here. Easy. But right now, these ponds and the lakes, like there's one, like when I call my show the Big Eagle Show, or in here they call him Black Dog, where his property once was, it's amazing. Like there's what they did is they kicked him off his property and made a mill, and they made some kind of electrical station. I still haven't found that, but anyway, all going up to where the train tracks is. I mean, where you normally just see land. That shit is buried almost up to them train tracks. And I don't mean like overrunning the train tracks, but I'm saying in the land going up to the train tracks is water. It's water like never seen before. Like where we had to go do some businesses. Again, White Bear is almost an hour from me, going like border south, like east, like no, going east, but going north. Yeah, northeast. It's like very northeast from me, but east border northeast from me. And yeah, every lake we went by said said, you know, flood warning. And it was interesting to see how far this stuff. And again, I live very close to the Minnesota River. And I think yesterday I showed the Fort Snelling area. And today, just driving around, you know, such a large variety is here. And you people that live on the Mississippi, yeah, you know, pay attention because it's a lot of water. It is a lot of water out there. So if you live in any of these areas, pay attention. Don't know what that means. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else about the flooding. Maybe not. I'm sure it is though. Oh, uh-oh. Tank Davis gets a diamond chain. Uh-oh, Tank Davis, shine on him. You know, it's funny when gold became popular in the 80s, because it was a boom, gold boom. Gold was popular. I don't know if people remember the very first Miami Vice. I don't know if people remember this, but the very first Miami Vice, they had the chief of Vice do an undercover sting. And the chief of Vice and this guy picks the guy picks up the chief of Vice, and the guy has a fat ass link bracelet. I mean, this bracelet link had to be like 27 millimeters. I mean, this thing was like, you know, 10 grand back then. And he says, "Does nothing say dealer more than this?" That's what he says about it. And later this guy gets killed. But it's just interesting that they highlighted the gold. But it was like I would run into some brothers that was like, "Man, you know, that's that slavery shit to me, man, wearing them chains. I don't know how y'all." I mean, I had one friend who was always like that. He's like, "I don't know how y'all wearing them chains. You know, that chains come from that slavery shit. And you niggas is wearing that chains now because you had the money." And yeah, some people felt that way. I never felt that way. I was like, yeah, you can't get chains. No. Well, I don't know. I don't think he could have, but okay, here we go. More flooding.
What if you could do SEO?
Yeah, more flood talk. Let's see what the flooding is doing here, y'all. I care about Minnesota, so I'm trying to get y'all to care about Minnesota. I'm up here, you know, doing hard work. You know, and these people driving me crazy, trying to take me over and stuff, guys. So I want y'all to see what I'm going through. I'm on some Noah's Ark stuff, y'all.
Flood season is in full swing. The Crow River continues to rise, impacting communities including Rockford, Greenfield, and Delano. WCCO's Alan Henry.
Okay, he kind of said that, but what did he say?
Including Rockford, Greenfield, and Delano. WCCO's Alan Henry visited those communities today. Henry visited those communities today to see how residents.
Isn't the words communities? Did he say communities? What is this dude saying? What Minnesota dude? What is you saying?
WCCO's Alan Henry visited those communities today to see how residents are responding.
It's a T in communities. It's a T in communities. Okay, let's go.
To the rising river.
It's incredible. I can't imagine what the undertow is like.
Since Friday, the Crow River in Delano has risen another foot, now at over 20 feet of water, well past the major flood stage of 18.5.
Okay, for you people that don't know what undertow is, this is undertow. And you know, all this getting washed down that makes this more powerful. So, you know, if y'all didn't know, that's what it is.
It's pretty high. It's kind of odd to see it this high, concerning to see it this high. But kind of happens every year when we have as much snow melt as we.
Okay, it was cold today with no sun. What is your deal, dude? Like, look at this. This is cloudy and dreary. You know, he's got on sunglasses. Where is sun back behind him? Like, why would they interview this dude? Look at this. It was a dreary, cold ass day today. He ain't even warm enough. Okay, let's go.
We have, and then with the recent rains.
It's crazy.
I guess he's just cooler than a fan.
I've lived in this area for 20 years, and I've never seen this river this high.
Okay, now somebody said it was ugly people in Minnesota, and we've just seen two ugly people, so it is ugly people here too. The most ugliest people are in Wisconsin for sure. If you spend any time in Wisconsin, it becomes you become very aware that there are ugly people. So you know what? When they talk about dudes who can't get no women, brothers, go to Wisconsin. There's ugly women and you can get them.
Katie Cannon took a picture of a storm drain in downtown Delano Friday afternoon.
Damn, she ain't got nothing to do but go take pictures of this kind of stuff. Like, I really wouldn't care, you know, like unless it was coming on my property, but okay, let's go.
And came back to see how the same spot looked Saturday evening.
Did he just say she came back?
We were looking down at this drain, and the drain was, I don't know, it looks to be about 50%.
Oh my goodness, this is an ugly chick, man. This chick is really ugly. And she's on camera.
Covered. Now,
Hey, y'all, all of them don't look like this, y'all. All of them don't look like this.
now it is more than covered.
Oh, don't show a full picture of her. Yes, let's do it. Oh, let's show a full picture of her. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, let's show her that full picture. Come on, honey. They gave it to us, so let's show it.
More.
Oh!
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
More than covered, and then some. It's getting
And then
pretty
some.
close to the wall.
Further north in Rockford,
Like, I would be thinking of plans to get out of there or get up sandbags, not taking pictures of the shit.
sandbags are covering some storm drains as floodwater from the river is closing roads, causing problems for drivers and some homeowners.
The owner of this house in Greenfield didn't want to be on camera because, well, he has his hands full. As you can see here, they put up sandbags around this home to try to keep the water out, something he says has been somewhat unsuccessful.
Hey, I respect that. Fuck you. I'm trying to save my crib, nigga. I respect that. I respect that. Get out of my face. Yeah, you can film on my land, but get out of my face. I got work to do. Look. He said he ain't want to be on camera. Look at this. He putting in real work.
Bags around this home.
You see, he trying to save his crib, and look at this. Look at this. His crib is in peril. It's in peril. His back porch is in peril. He could get some good fish back, but look at this. He putting in work. He ain't got time to be on the camera. And that's a real reaction. You know, this is real. You know, when they sell how stories are fake and real, this is real right there. If he came on camera, this would be fake. Do you understand how this is real? They showed you a real moment. He ain't got time to be fake. His life is in peril right here. He ain't got time to be on camera. He is trying to survive. He is trying to keep his property going.
To try to keep the water out, something he said.
Quantum, I know you like that. You had to like that part. Yeah, I know you pay attention. You had to like that part, huh?
This has been somewhat unsuccessful so far. You can
Oh my goodness. I gotta get y'all.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
How you gonna say despite his efforts it ain't successful? He said despite his efforts, it's not successful. Let's hear that again. Oh, it's not open. That just blew my story right out the thing.
to try to keep the water out, something he says has been somewhat unsuccessful so far. You can see here the Crow River.
It's unsuccessful so far. You might as well got on TV. You might as well got on TV. Hey, sure as you see it what it is. That part, that's what the young people in Michigan, that makes sense. That's something to say. Yeah, that part right there, y'all. That part right there. Yeah, what's the most interesting thing? That part right there. You know, he's been unsuccessful. That part. Parody. I don't know. I guess we could go. What time is it? Oh, yeah, I'm not feeling that. I can drink some water. Oh, I'm having fun with this. This is just too funny. It's
River
not.
and just how far it has risen next to his home. In fact, you can see a tire swing off in the distance. That's not a swing into the river. You're supposed to be able to touch the ground, but as you can see, it's fully submersed.
Nearby residents are optimistic the protections in place will stay up and that the water will soon go down.
I sure hope so. I trust the city to know better. They've seen it before.
Trust and believe.
What are we doing?
You can't trust and believe, man. You gotta say what did Sean say? You know, when the captain's wife came out, you know, and the Titanic was sinking, she said, "Shine, shine, please save me. I'll give you more of this, more monkey than you ever had seen." And you know what Shine says? Monkey is good, but it don't last. Shine's gotta save his own black ass. So that's my motto.
It's definitely going to be an interesting spring.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
The Crow River is now expected to.
Did he say what was that you said, dude? What this dude? Where are you from? Let's hear it again. How are you talking, dude?
The Crow River is now expected.
What river? What did you Crow? Is that? Didn't we say two different things? What did he say? Tell me. Did we say the same thing?
Crow River is now expected to.
The Crone River? Okay, go ahead.
Crest
He's not
tomorrow
gonna get any
night, but
better.
not before rising another 4 inches. We're also getting a look at the rising St. Croix River tonight. These homes in Bayport are already seeing flooding, and third.
Hey, these ain't no cheap cribs. Look at where them cribs. Look at these cribs. These ain't cheap cribs. This is where some money being lost. Look at these cribs. And these are, I guess you call that a twin homes, duplex shit. These ain't cheap. Yeah, it's where some real money being lost.
Street is.
Oh, this might be Wisconsin. Now I'm looking at it.
Pooling with water. Just to the north in Stillwater, the water is right up to the edge of the
Stillwater is still here in Minnesota.
lift bridge, and we're starting to see it creep closer to the sandbag berm along the Riverwalk. The St. Croix just entered major flood stage there today, now topping 89 feet. We're still days away from a projected crest there. And on the Wisconsin side of the river, public facilities are starting to get submerged in the swollen river. Sidewalks and roads are being swallowed up as they wait for the water to subside.
Let me say this. I am going to be on the Mississippi a lot this year. And, you know, you guys are going to see me on the Mississippi and you're going to wonder why you aren't me while I'm going to be on the Mississippi. For real. Oh, I've been following the story.
Thousands flooded the small town of Glenwood today.
Oh, we've been following the story. Let's keep following. Yes, of the following heroes. Let's go. Let's go.
To pay their respects to fallen Pope County Deputy Josh Owen. Deputy Owen was killed last Saturday in the line of duty while responding to a domestic violence call in Cyrus. Hundreds of officers lined up in silence as a show of respect and support for friends and family of the fallen officer. WCCO's Jennifer Mayerly takes us inside the funeral service and shares the moving tributes.
One by one, fellow law enforcement filed into the Minnewaska High School gymnasium to say farewell to Deputy Josh Owen. His flag-draped casket in front with wife Shannon and son Rylan nearby.
Isn't it a blessing that this building can't even hold the love we have for Josh?
The Pope County Sheriff's Office chief deputy paid tribute to Deputy Owen. The canine officer had been with the department since 2009. He recalled his distinctive laugh, his disdain for paperwork, and his love for the night shift.
He's strong. His presence brought a sense of calm. You just felt like everything was going to be okay when you were around Josh.
His platoon leader in the National Guard shared a similar sentiment. They spent 22 months deployed together.
Josh was a hard-working, common-sense individual, understood the responsibilities of an NCO, and brought plenty of experience to our team.
Lieutenant Colonel John Anderson told stories of his heroism. There were lighter moments and a message to his family.
There will be times you'll feel alone, times you feel cheated, but in those times, please remember this room and all the people that are here. They're not just here to honor your father, they're here to support you and your mother as you transition life without your father.
A devoted husband and father, his family says he touched everyone he met and acted selflessly in each encounter.
It's so easy to be cynical in this day and age, and there were undoubtedly people who...
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, wow, they put him on TV, and what is this called? I'm sorry, guys. I have to be a critic of everything, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, destroy the moment for you if you were feeling something, but this is just like, okay, this goes into what Quantum is saying. It's real and fake at the same time.
Who never came around. But Josh never stopped trying. Such a beautiful legacy he leaves us.
A legacy many say they'll hold near and will carry on in his name.
I'm going to remember Josh O every time another dispatcher or coworker tells me that they love me and that I love them. I've decided that I'm going to do that from now on.
In Glenwood, Jennifer Merrily, WCCO News.
All right, that is what's going on here in the Great White North. It's tragic. It's very odd for like the last 3 killings we see. These are small apartments, y'all. I mean, it's like this is
Spring means flood season is in full swing.
It does not mean that. It means so it's very rare. It's very rare for officers to get killed in small departments. I mean, it's just. Like I've told the story before. A guy, when I worked for the small department, it was a guy that worked for the sheriff's department, didn't like stopping cars at night. So every time he approached the car, he'd take his pistol out, and that's just totally unsafe for everybody, because there's nothing that causes that. It doesn't matter. It's at night. There's nothing. You're stopping a person, so there's nothing. There's no reason for you to have your pistol out to approach a car. I mean, you've got 2 lights on both sides. You can light up. You got lights up top. So, and the guy would always wanted to be back up. And I told him, I was like, I can't back you up if you're going to approach cars with your gun out. That's unsafe for me. That's unsafe for them. And, I told him straight up, don't stop cars if you're scared. If you're scared to stop cars, don't stop cars. Do other shit. And he's like, well, they write me up for not being, productive and shit, which is kind of right in a way. But, some of these small areas, there ain't as much traffic. And, you get your occasional drunk here and there, but still, man, let me tell you guys, I've got my inserts, and I just ordered these, and these are great. Yeah, these are just like little balls that help with plantar fasciitis, help with, what's it else called? Like I'm starting to develop a little bit of hammer toe. This, fights that. Because if you put, like naturally, if you put a pad in your foot, the middle of your foot, it straightens your toe. So this is a fight for those. And like, this was like $6. They gave me 4 of these. And I wore them for the first time today. So just wanted to share these. Yeah. I fight with foot issues, and, it's a big deal, walking and stuff. If you can't walk, that's a big deal. And so you have to kind of keep everything working. And I guess that's the balance of how to age properly. You have to have good habits as a young person. It's like my son that really grew up with me the most. My son that just turned 28. And my oldest son, I'll say as well. They both learned the same lesson. But my 28-year-old son got it more, because my other children one is 44 years younger than me. The one you see that's really tall, he's 46 years younger than me. No, maybe 43 years. But they were, when I was coaching and reffing, they were babies. They were little. I mean, they were so little where I had one gym when I was coaching JV where I could literally, there's nowhere they could get out. Like we didn't have even, like this gym was so little, we was like a small high school, like class C or D, one of the smaller high schools. So it was like, it was where you could get up above the bleachers, but it was like really nothing they could do up there. It was like nothing up there. So it was only like one level really. So, and they couldn't get out the gym. They could get in the locker room, but the locker room didn't go to outside. Well, football field, but they couldn't get out. So I could literally just, when they was maybe 3 and 4, I could literally just give them a couple balls and not think about them again. And there's nothing they could really do to kill themselves. So they were too young to really get the experience of staying in shape and having a healthy lifestyle. And I say that has helped me. I say, my bluest days through addiction and everything, I never quit hooping. It was like, no matter my addiction, even when I was making money, I still never quit hooping. That was the one thing that was a constant in my life. No matter how high I was, no matter how low, I never stopped that. I was always in a gym. From 25 to easily, I didn't move out of Michigan until I was 44. That's all I did. I mean, I worked and I raised a family, but this is conditionally what I did, which creates a healthy lifestyle. And granted, I've had my number of injuries and surgeries. And now at 60, I can still run. It's again, you have to build up to that point, but I'm healthy enough again to run and stuff. I could probably hoop again. But definitely going to be pickleball dominant. So, and I am going to have a section, an appreciation day, and I got to do something for all the people that contributed to me getting my dream car of a Mitsubishi Mirage 2023 for only 18 grand. Let me tell you, I have because of all of you, and let me see who's the last person that donated. Ernice, Super Sly, and numerous others. I have overachieved the number of the 18 grand for the Mitsubishi Mirage. So if I was you, if you were me, and you had 18 grand, would you buy a 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage? Would you buy that car? And the answer is no. So I don't want the people that donated to think that I fooled them into donating because they wanted to see me in the Mitsubishi Mirage, right? Do you understand? Well, I thank you for that, but I think what I came up with is a little better than the Mitsubishi Mirage. So I'm going to show that in a couple of days. But I want to thank you guys. I mean, that 18 grand is a lot of money. Thank you guys for your dream being my dream too. and sincerely wanting me to have a Mitsubishi Mirage. And that's how you manifest, I was just cheerfully putting that out there, and you people have responded in a way I could have never imagined. So I thank you all for helping me with the Mitsubishi Mirage. Ginger Jimmy. Ooh. It's different when you come. Stillwater has a federal prison. Oh, that's not the only one. Oh, yeah. Well, Duluth too. Stillwater has a federal prison, but so does Duluth. I told the story of one of my guys that went up to Duluth Federal Prison. I mean, it was really like, if you really understand what made the cellular companies make cellular phones affordable for everybody, counterfeiting is really what made them have to eventually give in. Now, two things that happened. The biggest thing that happened in cell phones that really led to cell phones being cheaper was the ability to clone cell phones. because I don't know if people remember, but it was legal for you to clone your own phone as many times as you wanted to. All you had to do is have the equipment. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that, but the law, and you could download how to make these things that would clone it was legal to clone your own phone. And so I had associates that were able to build these machines and clone phones. Now remember the Master T movie, I've got the hookup, and they was actually, it was another group out there. Instead of cloning them, they was getting the chips that would just turn on. You get a phone, the chips would turn on. My guy here won the dunk contest. He got caught with a bunch of chip phones. So that must have been how they was doing them out in Cali. We was fucking with them clone phones though. Like my friend that ended up doing time up in Duluth. I mean, it was such a great deal. Like you couldn't, how was it? You couldn't receive calls. You could make calls, but you couldn't receive calls. You could, if you had a Sky pager, that was perfect. So, well, you already knew what they wanted. You read it on Sky pager, and you call them back. So you knew who it was, but you could call unlimited. Like I would literally, this was like, we would go, as I said, one of my friends grew up by the Masters golf course. And we would be going to these Masters golf and just be chilling there and like be on the phone the whole time, like for hours when this shit was expensive. Just be like, man, we down here. You know how people take pictures and shit? We used to just talk to people. We'd be at these events and just be talking. I'm like, man, I'm down here at the Masters. What are you talking about? I ain't at the Masters. Look at so-and-so is right here. I'm on hold. What was right here? And that's how people used to flex like that. I don't know if y'all remember that. But that's how people used to be. We just be on the phone talking like, well, man, I'm right here. Look at this right there. I'm right here. Look at that. I'm Ben Tiger's up there, or whoever was. We would be like that at the Masters, just on the phone for hours when this shit was so expensive. And remember, the way clone phones really worked is that people would start being outside of businesses. And the way that some of the businesses cycled to clone phones, it takes a long time for them to catch it, especially back in the 90s. And so what my friend would do, the phones was guaranteed for 90 days because that was the pattern. It was like after it would generally take them 90 days to discover that the number was cloned if you wasn't making calls or you wasn't receiving calls. And that really is what made, more than anything else, that's what made them had to make cell phones affordable. And that can't be denied. That can't be denied. But yeah, that was my guy. And it was like, I would run into these crazy deals. I ran into a dude and I had a couple of the clone phones. Because one dude that gave me a phone and, I was like, oh man, I can get your phone turned on. Just give me the phone. I'll bring it back turned on to you. He's one of my guys. And I did that. I came back, like, boom, here you go. And I had a dude that was going to give me about 30 phones. 30 phones just for turning, he was like, for turning 20 phones on, he was going to give me 20 phones. That was the deal. And my friend that later got caught for some stupid stuff. And I've told his story before. The police department paid some drug addicts to break into his house and be sloppy about it. This dude is out. He comes home and he sees his house is broken into. What they took, he saw they was kind of addicts probably. And this dumbass like had a scale and had some cane out in the basement. Like this dude didn't even clean up. And he had all these phones and everything. He had all this shit all around too. So yeah, he ended up getting some federal time. Him and his brother both. And like he wouldn't trust me. I'm like, man, come on, let's go to Minnesota. It's way more businesses. You can clone more numbers. These 22 phones, it was like 20 phones. Like, man, we're getting 20 phones. We're going to turn on 40 phones. We're going to get at least 20. And he didn't want to do the deal. And what can you say? It was like everybody was going to win. And that's kind of how it's funny. Like him and his brother both, they call themselves so careful of dealing and hustling and they both got caught like suckers. His brother got caught in a hotel room, as well as their uncle, who was one of my good friends. It's like this dude, he was, let me tell his story. Yes. Let me tell you what a simp is. This is my friend, but I'm still going to say my friend was a simp. My friend was at least 10 years older than me, but he had a real thing for light-skinned younger women. And he had spent some time in prison, Vietnam vet. These dudes I'm talking about is his nephews. All of them are booming. All of them. And it's funny when you know people before other people know them. And like known them for a while. And then when they see this person, you know, they have an opinion of this person, like this person is like Miss America to them. So he sees this girl that I've known for a long time. And granted, she's cute, but like my best friend used to be about her and a couple other people. So I'm looking at her like, she's not the ultimate. But to him, she was. And so they were together for a minute. And all of a sudden, 4 keys end up missing. And she's still in his pocket. She introduces another girl. I don't know if they got freaky. I can't tell you. And, you know, they got him. He breaks up with the girl. And it's funny, the girl used to live by me. Well, we all used to live by each other because that's how he met her. He didn't know her before that. To me, she was like, what does Corey Holcomb say? She was, you know, her monkey was for the game. You know, her monkey was really for the game. But to that nigga, that was Miss America. That was Vanessa Williams. And so, you know, he's ultimately was a simp because it led to his downfall. Because he ended up going to prison too, like his nephews. So I guess you could call that, you know, a generational curse. And you know, 2 of them went down in damn, you know, in hotel rooms, getting filmed as hotels. But, you know, to have a chick rip him off like that, not run away, and then you think she, you know, and then bitch about it. But, you know, I know she, dude, you didn't do nothing to her other than it seemed like y'all broke up. So, you know, I'm looking at you like you's a sucker. Because I thought you was a sucker when you first started dealing with her. When you dealing with her and she know your business and you leaving your business around her like that, it just wears your mind. You got this product and you ain't got it in the safe or somewhere else other than where you're living, where anybody can have added to it. That's a sucker. That's a simp, if you understand. And I think a lot of what he was dealing with, because he was probably in his 40s, was some midlife crisis shit. You know, he was in his 40s. And, you know, at the time, he was doing it. He had a vet. It had to be, let me see, Brennan was born in 95. Yeah, he had a 95 vet. Trying to think. He had a Seville, had a kicker in the back. He had probably a 91, 92 Seville. I mean, he was doing it, you know. And he was my man, you know, no doubt. He was my man. I'm not going to say he's not, but I'm just saying he was a simp at the same time. And there's no way you can tell a dude not to be a simp like that. There's no way you could say, you know, dude, think you having a midlife crisis. Think you only fucking with her because, you know, I'm telling you, she ain't really cute. I mean, look at, you know, I mean, okay, in this little town, yeah, maybe, but what is cute in this little town? You don't think a lot of this cute has been around here? Do you tell a person that? Because they ain't hearing it, really. And it's funny, before they got together, when we would be cooling and shit, you know, talking about chicks and talking about hoes and shit, he would always refer to her as the perfect chick. And I even told him the story. I'm like, look, man. He asked me, you know, and when people would come, I was like, what do you know about her? And I told him, I said, you want to know what I know about her? I sat across the table from her one time, and it was my boy's birthday. Now, she used to go with one of my other friends, but on this night, she was a free agent. And she readily was like, hey, we all sitting at the table, and it's my boy's birthday. She said, Peanut, I'm here for you. So that was one instance. I said it was another instance where it was this dude named Samson, and it was almost the identical situation. She was there for Samson. That's what I think about her. She was my neighbor at one point. So I gave him my opinion. And he still was in love with her. But I had friends in love with addicts. And one friend in love with two addicts. I should find her picture. This chick is 48, 49. I should find her picture. And even her picture now, she's still cute. I mean, dudes, like Hollywood and stuff gives you an idea of really beautiful people. But it's people in the world that, like that song say, the men all pause. It's places where it's women that around everywhere that look really like that. They're really like their energy and just normal women. You know, not to, you know, when you talk about Big Mama, I'm talking about a woman that just can do that and have that kind of energy and be a young woman. The men all pause. Everybody pause. You know, friends want to come over because they love being around the mom too. And the dad. Because that's the thing too. But I'm just talking about beautiful women for now. Not trying to say, you know, a one-woman household. Not that. It's always balance. But there are beautiful women in this world that ain't that Hollywood what you look at. That have beautiful lives. Just normal people. Never had to sell their soul for their beauty. And that's real beauty. That's real beauty. You understand. They didn't need all that attention. They were happy whatever they ended up doing. They took little attention and they was able to be successful whatever they did, and their beauty helped them. And I'll tell you, I've run across, now check this out. I've told this story before. It's sometimes you run across women that are so beautiful and you are in a situation with them and it makes no sense that she's with you. And I'll say this, my son, we were taking my son out of one program, putting him into a regular school system. And my son, you see him, he's not really physically handicapped or nothing like that. It was just emotional shit. And it's a group of people. And this lady is head of the special education department. And it was like, this lady did not belong there. This lady is wearing all designer shit and she is like just stunningly beautiful. It's like she's so stunningly beautiful that it's hard. It's like, it's not hard to concentrate on what she's saying and everybody's saying. It's just like the picture, the scene made no sense. Like it made no sense her sitting there looking as good as she did compared to everybody else. If that makes sense to you. If you can picture that. A group of people sitting there and this woman is dressed and looks like a Hollywood person. And I'm not saying over makeup, none of that. I'm saying just a woman that was about business that just looked good. But her look good far surpassed like everybody. Like she looked literally like a model sitting amongst the people. And I'm sitting there, and again, where you say, you know, there's reality, like it's fake and real at the same time. And I'm thinking this can't be real. This woman is so beautiful where I would just really want to just sit there and look at her. I'm trying to interact and I'm trying to advocate for my son, but yet this woman's beauty like outshines any of those thoughts because it doesn't make sense that she's so beautiful and everybody else is just so plain. And I've run into a couple situations like that, not just her. At a small party, dude's mama came in And the mama's Prada, like everything's just Prada. The mama came in with about $15,000 outfit. And it was like so out of place. And this is a small house party. And she's like so out of place the way she's dressed. Again, it's real and fake at the same time. And I guess I'll be like that sometime. I'll be going into spots wearing mean coats and shit. Everybody else be having Levi's and jean jackets. uh, okay. They don't act like they like that. No, the lady that was over the health education was very, very beautiful soul as well. Very real, very beautiful. But it just shows you how like even the way I am and people perceive me like, but this is how I always have been. It's like I haven't really changed anything in my personality. This is like I'm consistently the same way. My son, you see, he pissed me off. I cuss him out every day for weeks. And then, you know, when it's over, he's like, hey, or even between, if it's something he need, he know. He called me more than once. Okay, what do you need? I'm on my way. And that's just how it is, understanding. And definitely, you know, family. And as your children get older and your responsibilities change and the children change and the responsibilities change. But it's just, it just tells you, you know, I guess what I was getting at is there is a people, I guess in some ways, like even when I was talking about, when you talk about if one person had the power to give other persons the power to heal, beautiful people almost give that kind of energy off as well. And it's like the despairingly, and sometimes it's like the beauty is not spread around that much. And like this person didn't have to do anything new to look so beautiful that she didn't do every day, if you understand what I'm saying. She just looked that beautiful every day. You could tell. Like she didn't, I didn't get the impression that she got so beautiful just for that day. Now, granted, it was like 30 people in there that I'm like sitting around, you know, advocating for my son. And actually they were advocating for him too, where it turned out. So I didn't get the impression that, you know, she dressed up for the occasion. It came that she always looked like this. And I think, you know, the way brothers are raised, and I think it's really prevalent in brothers are raised with single households instead of seeing the dad there. I think one thing that you see is you don't see the what is the word I'm looking for? Commitment is hard. I think on single, when boys are raised, and even girls are raised on single parent households, I think it's harder for them to commit because you see what your mother's going through in the multiple different kind of relationships compared to what boys seeing their father goes through. And again, comparing to what, you know, a family and the balance that families have. Heard a story about my cousin. And they set my cousin up for failure. So there are situations, and I guess we could even say the situation was like a situation of the Boulay celebrating. Now my cousin, now when his family curses, she's part of a family curse. My aunt, my mother's sister, got pregnant at 13. Her daughter got pregnant at 14. Her son got a girl pregnant at 15. And his daughter got pregnant at 15. So she's part of a family curse. Now I can't say what's, you know, how it is with her daughter. She has 5 children. Age-wise, 40, I guess. 40 with 5 children. She's had butt injections. And she lived in Louisiana for a number of years. And I guess she's back in Michigan. I couldn't say yay or nay. I don't know. But I know at one point she was in Michigan and she was going to a ballet-like party of the boule, basically. You know, the boule in that area. And I think Corey Holcomb said he took his daughter somewhere and he told his daughter she wasn't dressed right. And he said him and his daughter didn't speak right. Didn't speak. My cousin wasn't dressed right for the occasion. Everybody was in tuxes and formal, and she was dressed like a hoochie mama. Now, her aunt, actually was a great aunt, and her cousin, they all went together. Why didn't they tell her this is not appropriate for this occasion? Let us take you somewhere to wear something more appropriate. Or did my cousin say, hey, somebody gonna like it? She in there drinking, dancing, boobs is hanging all around. So it's multiple ways to look at it. But in my way to look at it, it wasn't the time or place for that. You were inappropriate. That energy wasn't there. Okay, I need to stand up. Oh, I've been going for 2 hours, baby. Ooh, 2 hours. 2 hours.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
I'm gonna take another break because I gotta pee, but let me get it all set up before I take a break. This is one of the best ones in the world. Whoops. Because they told me I can't just be sitting here. They said I got to get my ass up. So I'll get my ass up, move around. All right, looking good there. I'll do that. Okay. Oh. Hell, I'll pay myself right on. Shoot all that shit. Boom, boom, boom. Go ahead and run it. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Head. Go ahead. Keep playing. Playing. Watch it. Don't skip it. Watch it. Don't skip it. No, I gotta pee. So I'll skip it. All right. Give me a few breaks and enjoy some I guess older show.
90-year-old people ain't easy to take care of. But depending on their condition. I'll say that. That's why being an athlete your whole life, if you can, working out helps you. No matter what you do. I like pickleball just because it's not hard on my joints and I can still get my heart rate up. I can get my feet, I can work on my quickness, my hand-eye. So there's a lot of things that I like working on that makes me think. And that's the key. As you get older, you want to do things that make you think. Because with all these chemicals and the air and everything, that's what they want to take away from you. Because as long as you can think your whole life, I mean, you're tied into everything. And, take the time to meditate, to, know your voice. If you can't meditate, you don't know your real voice. And what I mean is when suggestions come in, you thinking that these suggestions is your suggestions, that you came up with it. But a lot of times we have attachments that connect to us and they feed in, they feed into the ego. And they get tied into the ego, you're open to that. So they come in and, you got an extra voice there. And if you haven't recognized that this comes in and attaches itself to you, A lot of times it comes out through emotion. I mean, of course, we've all probably said things like, "Damn, why did I say that? Where did that come from? Where did all that hate come from? I just want to break up with the bitch. I didn't want to tell the bitch I hated her and all that stuff. I just want to break up with her." And you're getting all this poison stuff that's just feeding into it. And that's what you got to be aware of. Because most of us get, we're very, the majority of the world is zombified. Zombies is awoke. I know I've said before that the zombies would be the hungry people. The zombies is just people that are just unaware. Just people that are just unaware people. That's what the zombies are. They're unaware.
Man, I am a fly nigga. Look at that shit. Oh man, I used to
the
look
backup
good.
players. When we have
used to,
backup
still
players
do.
in video games, it's the same thing.
That's why, homie. Thank you. Thank you for stepping in while I had a chance to pee. You know what Michael Jackson said? I'm only human. When they say strange places we've never been before, there are smiling faces to help you along the way. How Tank Davis set up Ryan. Uh-oh. Dang. It's like they trying to feed me now. Okay, I'll take the bait. What can we find out? What is going on in the USA as far as dysfunction? Is there a lot of dysfunction going on in the USA? I think we can find that. oh, Macbone Files.
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
Thank you for joining me. Meditation, listening to your inner voice, your soul. Indeed it is. It definitely
hits different.
When Macbone Files come in, J.R. Jeffries, it definitely
hits different.
When you come in. Yeah, oh, meditation, yeah. As I said before, why is it like that? Oh, that's why. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, I'll catch up. All right. There's really a whole camp that you can find that is called urban meditation. And in urban meditation, see, like if you try to follow the cats that talk about enlightenment, and what they tell you every time is you got to make it perfect all around you. You got to go out in the forest, out in the garden, and you've got to that's the only way, they try to show you that you can, vibrate high enough to, get to different consciousness. And, oh, okay. And that's not quite true. And it's kind of, it's almost, like the Bruce Lee thing. You can't teach, everybody all how to do it. You've got to hold back some of it. And really all it is the first thing I try to teach people about meditation is the first step is stopping all the voices. There's attachments, the outside voices. Because from a very young age, your consciousness comes to you. Now, I understand that for some people that get abused in certain ways, your consciousness is ripped from you. And so you're kind of dual. You've taken on an attachment that takes the place of your consciousness. I understand that. But that ain't everybody. So, I'm just saying, basically everybody, your consciousness comes to you, 5, 6, comes to you. And if you think about the way it came to you at first, even though you have all these influence of the parents and everything, it is just something that was special to you. And hence, the invisible friend, things like that. Being able to, get in touch with fairies and shit like that. vibrating on that kind of vibration. Innocent things, things that the innocence can vibrate into. If you kind of understand that. And I also teach, a blink, really like some controlling the crowd shit is really you can like when you watch like they showed the dude from Tennessee doing the king kind of speech, the Southern preacher kind of speech, but like you can control people not just in your speech, but you can actually start a blinking pattern and people will start blinking the same way you blink. I mean, we are that strong. And imagine if you're on a big screen, you can control everybody they would blink the same way. But say just 30 people and you're sitting in the right position, they all have the right lighting to you, you could actually get everybody to blink in the same way you're blinking. And it gets much deeper than that. You all can start breathing the same way. And no energy vampire, it's just a way. And you could do that. I'm saying that I'm not saying that that's not people that can take advantage, but I'm from what I'm saying is just the innocently just not even trying to manipulate people. I'm just saying trying to get the people, and I guess in a way it is trying to manipulate people in a way because you're trying to get them to be favorable to what your idea is. But I think that's honest manipulation. That's apprehension still. But those are simple ways that really ain't that invasive. They teach things like, you start saying that and you start blink, doing your head like that. So, you're talking to somebody trying to convince them something. There's nothing better than, this is right. You should talk fast to people. Right was every other word. You understand? And people drive me crazy still. I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying all day. I'm hearing this all day. That drives me crazy. These parroting spells. And it's I understand. It's hard to break that kind of thing. And so but I get into blinking, and again I went ahead. Like really for just trying to learn to be quiet. And that's the thing, you really have to learn to be quiet, to quit the waves of thought, because thoughts come in like waves. It's like really when you're all still and you kind of control them, the wave still comes in. And you have to have some kind of thing to like deflect these thoughts, because that's how thoughts come in. It's like really that's a simple practice. You just sit there and see what comes in. Like really just learn that. Just sit there and try to be quiet, and just be quiet in yourself and don't really think about anything and see what comes up. And this is where the machine starts kicking in, because it unless you are really strong and you can, it's hard for people. Like people have the sleep issues. Again, what's happening to you? Because a lot of people just get the thoughts keep appearing. It's hard for them to suppress the thoughts. And maybe they don't get the dream sleep, so they get the thoughts before they actually can fall off or not sleep at all. And so that's the first step in pure meditation. And then the second thing, like especially in urban meditation, is accepting where you are, and that where you are is okay and acceptable. And that there's nothing going to stop you from reaching wherever peak you want to reach in whatever meditation stage you are into. I mean, granted, this room is my meditation room, but there's, it's full of electronics. However, I've set it up where I still can take myself to the highest place, because what I've set up, I set up the meditation before the electronics. And there's a protective wall against the electronics into the meditation. And so I accept that this is the environment that I've created, but yet I've accept that I want to take myself high as I can take myself, despite all of it. And so despite all of the sounds, the sound of the fan, the sound of the computer, all the other sounds, all those sounds are natural. And even if you go outside and meditate, if you're in the city, it's still, or moderate city suburb, and all the city sounds are around, that's acceptable. You want that. because it's not hard to separate yourself from all that. I mean, just even saying from a simple standpoint of having a window open, where you're basically spiritually protected, not just outside. And even go outside, it's not hard to be spiritually protected outside. It's very easy to put a little protection around you, and you ain't got to circle yourself. Simple crystals, you just throw it by you, and then you just, again, the same technique of accepting the sounds of the city around you, and still being able to reach your spiritual growth wherever you spiritually can go, because it's like really it all goes away. I mean, just as the people that teach that you need to be in a garden and they're hearing the sound of the plants to vibrate higher, you use this because the fakeness, they still lived in the same fakeness that we live in now. That hasn't, it's only the scenery has changed. So if we can take this same magic, or whatever you want to call it, the same technique, given the situation that we're in, it doesn't mean that we still can't sustain a very high spiritualness, just by accepting where we are and moving from there. And using the city sounds as harmonics. That's not suppressing anything that you do. If that makes any sense.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Off my dome, this is actually taught by the people who are...
Guess I pulled the plug on that a little too thick, too quick. Huh? So those are just some things that I hope are helpful. That's all. Now, this is somewhat propaganda. And where I live, it makes where I live, it's like okay, understand from where I live, how is this any of this possible? Okay, I guess we gotta read shit. The world's glad. I ain't gotta hear your music to hear that shit, then I'll turn you freaking off. Okay, the world's glaciers melt at dramatic speed in 22. Okay, guys, how is this possible? I live north. We've had damn near 90 inches of snow. We are still in winter. But yet they want you to believe that further north is melting. Tell me how that makes sense. Wouldn't I melt where I live before these glaciers would melt? The United Nations say saving. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. How is it that the furthest north, how is it that I live in Minnesota and I am still under winter, but you telling me that further north than me is making the top of the world hot? How is it hotter up here than it is here? Make that make sense. How is it right here I am still in winter and you telling me all this is melting? Just from a common sense standpoint, how does that make sense? These people in Canada ain't melting. I know their temperatures. This is Canada. They ain't talking about this. They having problems with it being too hot, but yet they want to tell you up here it's too hot, that the gases get trapped. Tell me that makes sense. That I'm freezing up here, but it's melting like a motherfucker up here. Tell me how that makes sense.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Tell me this makes sense. That this is warmer than this and all this. This is warmer than all up here. Tell me how that makes sense. How am I still cold? And this ain't cold. Maybe they can explain. Let's go. Nah, I'm not gonna hear no creepy music. Okay, they're trying to tell you that the El Nino, the 8 years have been the warmest record ever. It ain't the warmest record up here. We had up here the third snowiest year ever. Do you understand? I don't think y'all understand.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Okay, it ain't been drought up here. I mean, it has been a little bit of drought, but not now. While greenhouse gases such as CO2 hit new peaks. Let's read it. Antarctica sea levels fell to its lowest. Okay. I call cap. What did I show y'all around here? Didn't I show y'all that it's flooding around here? They're telling you the sea levels is at their lowest, but we're in the mainland, we're flooding. This doesn't make sense. This story doesn't make sense. This is cap. How is it so cold where I'm at for so long? And you telling me it ain't cold up here? This is cap. The melting some European glaciers was off the charts. No, they didn't use that phrasing. Oh, no, they didn't. Off the charts. This is a spell. Off the charts. That's not factual. This is an opinion, but this is a spell. Off the charts. See, I told you this is cap. What else? I look like water. Sea levels are also at a record high. Okay. Give us more. Convince me more. Come on. Wait a minute. Record high temperatures. Honey, everybody. Up here in Minnesota, we've had record low temperatures since October. What are you talking about? We've been running heat since October. I ran my fireplace tonight. So what are they talking about? You're telling me north of me and I mean, this is ridiculous. And from the dress, look, I'm gonna say this, from watching people at the LA game, it's cool there. I don't live in LA, but I'm looking at the way the people dressed. They ain't dressed summered out. It's April. I'm looking at the game in LA. They wasn't dressed summered out. Summered out is everybody wearing shorts. The whole crowd wearing shorts. The whole crowd was wearing pants, mostly hoodies. Y'all saw the fight? Y'all saw how they was dressed in the fight? They wasn't dressed summered out. Mayweather had a t-shirt on and jeans, but everybody else was wearing hoodies, long coats, long shirts. So this is cap. %90 of the heat trapped in the earth by greenhouse gases end up where? Wait a minute. End up in the glaciers? You didn't explain shit. Did I miss something? Okay, glacier game lost. So all their pollution comes up here. You would think where the pollution is made, it would make the stuff not cold where it's at. it would attack the cold in the same way. You saying the factories that surround the local areas in the wintertime don't make it not cold. Do I have to say that again?
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
All right, let me say that again. You're telling me that the pollution, I live in a city that's the 16th largest city in the nation with 3.5 million people. You're telling me that the greenhouse gases and the emissions from all these factories, and we just had a spill of a nuclear plant 50 miles away. All right? 50 miles away, nuclear spill. You're telling me that ain't got that can't keep me warmer. That the pollution that comes from my city don't keep me warmer at all. But yet the pollution of the world melts the glaciers. Does that make sense to y'all? Does this make any sense? Okay, so much pollution in Europe that it melts the glaciers? How come all the pollution in my city ain't making my city warmer right now? Well, I'll admit the last couple of years we had droughts, the lakes was down. That shit ain't down now though. That shit ain't gonna be down all summer. This is gonna be a great boating season. So let's go. The hell. Okay, extreme weather may continue until the 2060s, where I'll be 100. I think that's a spell on me. I shouldn't even. Let's read that shit again. Let's read this spell. This is a spell. Thickness loss, some months, almost 30 meters. Okay. What was that shit you said about 2060? What was that shit? No, I think I passed it. Let's see. Ah, there you go. Come back here. This is a spell. Extreme weather may continue. Oh, you're thwarting me. All right, let's get back to it. All right. Extreme weather may continue to the 2060s, which many of you young people will see. I don't know if I'm gonna be excited to see when I'm turning 100 or not, because sometimes it seems like if you live that long, it's a trap. Independent of the success in climate mitigation, excuse me. This is a spell. That's the way they're showing this, and it's like a kind of attack on the trees. The trees are kind of dying. It's too hot for the trees. That's what they're trying to show you here. And let's not get out of the one-eye symbolism. This is the one-eye symbolism. We've got the towers here. The trees are presented as towers. You see this? Or the path to the one, the path to the one. You see this? This is the same old bullshit we get all the time. So how can you believe this when they present it like this? It's the same presentation of other things. Why do they got to give us occult stuff? This is all occult. This is supposed to be something completely, they're saying climate change, but yet they're trying to convince you with occult shit, spells with the numbers. And this is this. Look at this. The white sun. Again, this is the eye, the ring, and the twin towers. The twins. The attack on the twins, the towers. I mean, it's just why? If it's real, you don't need none of this. If it's real, you don't need none of that. What does quantum say? You're trying too hard. Like, and even this shot can be faked. Even this shot right here can be faked. We don't know that this is real or not. Any of this, they're trying to influence us into a certain way. We don't know what this is. We don't know where this is. With the new stuff, you can make this up. Anybody can make this. Well, we don't even know where this is. So they're trying to influence us, making us feel some kind of way, and we don't even know what this is. And nor do they explain what this is. Color and thickness, loss of ice. Okay, 30. Okay. All right. Disappearance of glaciers would limit freshwater supplies for humans. Okay. Not this year. Not this year. And could also harm, what does it say? Transport links if rivers become less navigationable. They're saying too much water. And that's what they're saying here. It could also harm transport links if rivers become that you can't navigate them. Okay. What less benefit? Why would rivers be you couldn't navigate them with the technologies we have? They're saying that somewhere there's going to be more water. Less navigable, less navigable means that the water's going to run, so they actually double talked because they're telling you that the fresh water is going to be less, but then the next sentence they give you that what they're telling you is that there's going to be more water, so the less water, the easier they are to navigate, right? But they're telling you that there's going to be more water some kind of way. Come on, what else? Glimmer. Oh, we got some hope. See, that's a trap. Hope is a trap. This is the trap word. This is a lock. This is the kind of thing where I talked to a lot of World War II dudes, and a lot of them pretty much said, "Oh, mama," before they got killed. I mean, that's surprisingly. Again, we can't. You'd have to look this stuff up. But a lot of guys said the last thing they said was, "Oh, mama." But others was like hope. And if they weren't able to navigate, I hope I go to heaven. I mean, if you're brainwashed and conditioned to think heaven is something, this could be your last thought. And that's a lock. Because if you don't already know where you're going, then, what are you doing with your higher self? You haven't got in touch with it at all. If you're counting on this, you're not going anywhere. This won't take you anywhere. This is a lock. This is a limit. I hope. Now, I'm not going to say this is totally out of, manifesting, because there's times you can manifest this, no doubt. But most of the way it's used is misused and not used in the manifesting to a positive outcome. A lot of this is given to hope of the unknown instead of the probability. And I'll say that, hope could be with probability. You could manifest probability with hope. That's how you could use this. And that's where, the ones that, you talk about, you study physics, that the probability of physics would come in with hope. That's how you could use it in the numbers on the given whatever you would tap into hope to be successful. Okay, what else? The means to battle climate change becomes more affordable. Okay, let's go. With green energy coming cheaper with fossil fuels. Okay, that's another lie. That's another lie. Fossil fuels is something they made up. That is not what's there. What's there will never run out. Just as now, they you know what? This is what they do. See, what they did is these people drilled into the earth. Because remember what they tried to tell you for years. Well, what is in the earth is a crystal. It is a crystal. They're right about that. But over the crystal, any spiritual person knows that there's water down there. So the crystal is almost like another sun, but around the crystal is water that will never run out. That is fresher than the stuff we see. The other thing is oil. That stuff will never run out. However they use it to charge this and they refine it, it will never run out. This OPEC stuff is such a lie. Americans invent gas around the early 1900s. Then after World War I, they go over there and they find gas. Okay? Don't really do that until World War II. Rommel was the only one that tried to capture those areas. America didn't really protect those areas. Rommel could have took that stuff. The British kind of was able to protect those areas. And then they, teach them how to refine it And then you're telling me in 72 that we don't have any gas? That they're like they're telling us right now, OPEC is not producing more gas. When we don't get our gas from OPEC for the most part, it has nothing to do with American gas. They have mountains full of gas that, and this is where the mocking comes in. Because the mocking comes in is like, look at the amount of gas the military uses. The military uses the most gas in the world of anybody. The military uses the most gas, the most resources, and they're the biggest polluters in the world, the American military.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
And this is a fact. And so when they say that OPEC has stopped producing, it has nothing to do with our economy. And as I said let me get this right, in March, the gas industry damn near tanked. I mean, it drops from some like $80 a barrel down to like damn near, what, $60 a barrel. Everybody sold energy. And then conveniently they say, well, OPEC. I mean, come on, it's a sham. All this is a sham. "32 countries reduced their emissions." Okay, 32, huh? You got to give us a Mason number. See? It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's real and fake at the same time. Real and fake at the same time. Fight the power. I don't want to fight anything. I don't want to fight anything. Oh, never take the jab. What's happening? Oh, what's happening? Never take the jab. It's different. What's happening? So I just like to point out some of these things that ain't so obvious. Like listening to people and not getting, this is what's interesting about being an educated person. And sometimes being educated but being sloppy with your education and your research. Because it's easy, and I think like even this, I'll say this about the Manosphere cats. Like some of them that wasn't as educated, it seemed like they fell into the cats that was more educated. And that's a fallacy in itself. And so it's really not about how educated you are. It is about you having passion for what you know. And so everything that you bring in helps what you know. And you only seek things that you know. Now, it doesn't really make you limited, but it makes you hear things on a bigger level. Because you hear things and you hear things that you have no use for. And you see things that there's no use for it in your world. It's no use for even to study or even to ponder or even to think about. And it's not even worth some instances to have an opinion about it. So, so these are the things to consider and what you face and how you use your consciousness. Because as they say, what's between your ears is how far you can go to any of it, physically, spiritually. And so again, it's what you bring in and how you interpret what you bring in and then how you apply it. I mean, I could say everybody's watching. I could say what it is to be a good person. But that's very subjective. Because people can mask being that to a certain crowd at work, shopping, you know. If you go to church or whatever, you can have a fake persona of normalness, and on the side be a pervert or perversion. So a lot of people say, well, I just thought he was a good person. But what is truly a good person? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. One of my best friends, we were hustlers back and forth, and we both was hustlers, and at one time we was both addicts, but we was both, you know, just best friends. And it was like, when I would be up, I would give him some to sell. I'd see him a couple of days later, and he'd be like, man, you know, he would cook, he liked putting crack in weed, and he'd have his little girls. And it was like, when he's your friend like that, you accept that kind of thing. You accept that kind of thing. It's like, let me give you another example with this same cat. It was like, I was up, I had it. All he was doing was help me sell it. And when I pulled back, I'm like, okay, I need to sell this. He was upset because I put it where he made money. It was like every time he did something, he made money, but it was always my product. And he was upset when I pulled back. It's like, okay, I can do this too. Right now, I'm just doing this with me. And I've had a couple people that was with crack. I had another dude, the same thing with weed, like always fronting him. He'd bring me, you know, the money back, but it's like he ain't never. It was like for a couple months, you know, you ain't never in a couple months you ain't never made enough where I ain't got to front you. And yes, it's convenient. We're moving it, but it's like at some point, the book should be you just buying in. And then I was like, man, I can't keep doing this. You know, I'm breaking even. I'm not making nothing really. Oh man, we moving all this. Okay, yeah. But where's the point that, you know, I don't have to keep putting an investment into you? And then the dude would get attitude. If it's my money and you're working for me, and it goes back to my best friend. I mean, it was hard for him to understand it at some point. But it was like attitudes on people that ain't putting up. You just a worker. You ain't the boss right now. And if I'm putting up the money, and goddamn if I ain't the boss. I mean, that's common sense for anybody. That's business 101. Don't do the shit. I mean, it would be, I remember I was one dude. It was like I was kind of like just needed something to keep moving. And he wanted to sell me 12 grams for the price of 14. And it's like, that's a tremendous loss when you try to break it down. And in his mind, he thought it was a great deal. And I was like, no matter how the situation, I mean, I'm not going to invest in that. And it was like, he was mad. He was really mad. But if you're on the end of your cycle, I'm not going to keep you going because you're on the end of your cycle. And these metaphors, you know, these are you can use them in so many different ways of normal life, of just dealing with people. Well, like they said, everybody want to be your buddy or your hubby. And nothing you do should make you too high, or nothing you should do should make you too low. I mean, that's really the way to go to this. That's how you can be real. Because if you're attacking the world as emotional, that's what it loves. See, like when people say you live in love, you live in love, that's where you're not fighting nothing. That's what living in love is. You're not fighting nothing. And this thing is, we as researchers, there's so much to attack. And but yet you have to realize that that's what this thing loves. It loves you to attack it in any way. It loves this. That's what this thing is. It's conflict. That's low vibrational. And this thing loves that. And us as free thinkers and deep thinkers, we can't wait to attack. We can't wait to go find it. And especially we know that all is revealed and we can go find it. And the gates will open up for you to find it. If you understand. And that's what it is. That's what some of it is. Yeah. It is trying to understand and trying to be the best you. And we have so many outside influences that we can't be the best us. And, you know, it's like it's old. And even though, you know I was showing it yesterday, the debauchery and the murder and the stress that melanated people have to live in and live with. I mean, it's over and over again. I know I showed several instances last night. It's just the attack after attack after attack after attack. Melanated people killed by melanated people. And this is mostly real. Like you look at what is real and what's fake. It's real that melanated young people are getting killed in numbers unheard of. And just like if we look at robberies, we look at the people that commit the robberies are 15 to 24, where these people are getting killed at an unalarming rate. And even if we look at the women are really from this age getting killed at an alarming rate. And there are people that mock this and mock our wretchedness, but no one's really paying attention. I mean, it's interesting. This King Vaughn stuff is interesting that these people are still this murderers on very little territory. And like murders to the point where you can't even go around the city from block to block without some type of violence coming to you. I mean, this makes no sense. This makes you think that you're in Berlin after World War II. All these different countries and all these different factions are vying for power. And you're talking about block to block, where no one owns anything other than just the concrete they run around, where they park their cars, where they try to sit around, congregate, go to stores, just live normal lives. And you go park somewhere and then people shooting you, run up and shooting you. I mean, how does this make any sense? Like, how do some of these young people do so much that they deserve that? And then it's glorified in the music. It's talked about in the music. Like, you know what a griot is? A griot is an ancient storyteller. Could memorize all the stories. Like, who wants to memorize all these death stories? And then these young people are martyred the same way. They're supposed to be psychopaths, and then when these psychopaths get killed, no one's surprised. It's the norm. Because that's what these psychopaths talked about. Who I smoked. I mean, where is the future in that? I mean, a part of Snowfall that you didn't really see is how the CIA put them guns in the neighborhoods, and the CIA and Army intelligence started whacking people at alarming rates, joining the gangs, influencing these murders. I mean, what is his name? Monster? Read the story. And he was one of the first dudes that was shot, and then one of the retaliation is his brothers. They just go to a hood, and the first people they see, they just shoot. And his brother explains how the first time he saw what a shotgun would do to human flesh. And you're hearing a repeat of this same kind of thing the last few years. It's like nothing has been learned. It's like the same attack over and over again. Who I smoked. Little Bibby. Talking about executing a person. And it's being celebrated. And again, we talking about the generations. I mean, yeah, some of y'all, I mean, when y'all was born, a lot of y'all that was born in them late 80s and 90s is that crack generation too. And we have generations, you know, we're the crack baby generation grandchildren, is what people don't realize. We're 3 generations from the crack babies. And we're what, 5 or 6 generations from, you know, the welfare state. Claudine put the man out. Get Section 8. Food stamps. Government money. Do it without a man. You got to have a job if you want to be with me. Independent woman. All the single ladies. See all these influences that have nothing to do with family? I mean, you know, and even though I matured long and the women in my life was more mature than me at points, my goal was still to have a family. Get married and have a family. That was my goal. Now, any young person right there sitting there, is that your goal, to get married? You know, I remember you hear parents, my parents always say, well, we was too young. No, you weren't. That was the norm. My father was 18, my mom was 20. That was the norm, to get married like that. My fiance said their parents said the same thing. We was too young. No, when you got married was the norm. People, you know, you had sex with, you married them. Pretty much how it used to be. I'm having sex with you a lot, and if you get pregnant, you definitely get married. But we having sex a lot, and we gonna get married. That's how it used to be. You hook up with somebody, you start having sex with them a lot, hey, we gonna get married. Now, free love, yes. In some ways, free love was an attack. I lived through those periods where you went to the bar in the 70s and 80s and, you know, looking for Mr. Goodbar. It was for real. It was expected to go to the bar and hook up with somebody and have sex with them and not get married. That was disco. That's part of that free love. And that killed the idea of family. Birth control. No, you can't get pregnant. That's all the AIDS scare was. Because birth control, you know, everybody's having sex. Good sex. It was looked at as healthy. 70s and 80s before the AIDS scare. That was an attack on sex, the divine feminine. There's a generations that think of condoms, sex and condoms. People in their people's in their 40s and 50s. People from 40 to 50 to 53, that was sunk into your brain. You know, Sly was saying that generation is the greatest, but y'all was hit with that. Y'all was hit with that condom thing, where it's in the back of your mind. What was the joke? You know, now you can put yourself in a monkey and the monkey would blow up. Some comedian said that joke. And y'all didn't really experience the free love. People 40 to 50. But again, you know, people still was getting married and having families. And I mean, look at yourselves, anyone out there. Do you even have the opportunity? I guess that's the problem with the manosphere. They say they don't even have the opportunity to get married with women. That the women they approach won't, you know, don't want to get married. They want to be financially taken care of and all those kind of things. And that's an interesting argument. I mean, the guys that you know show they had the nice cars, and the women think their life's gonna change because they sitting in this car. Is that really believable? I mean, you can rent a car, so is that really believable? All these videos of women thinking they getting in the car and their life gonna change. I mean, really, a car? Like, I don't think there's a car in the world where I would sit with a woman like, whoa, you know, hey, baby, you know, is that realistic? Who thinks that they sit in the car that the guy that owns this car, my life gonna change? Nobody's that simplistic. First thing, you know, smart was like, you renting this? Is it really your car? So those are actors. Now, I'm not saying there ain't women that, you know, that want that, you know, money and don't want to work. I'm not saying that. But to say that overwhelmingly women just, if they think they're cute, they want to be taken care of. Remember, I started this story talking about this one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. This woman was a doctor or something. She had her PhD in psychology. She wasn't looking for nobody to take care of her. And she was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. So that's a fallacy that's saying all beautiful women just think, you know, they're just cute and there's nothing else there. That's a fallacy. There's beautiful women that still get it and don't need anybody to get it, or beautiful women that marry. So it ain't just, you know, all these women beautiful and that's all they got going. I think that's a lot of showtime. And and it's a reality that men that can't relate and to women, that's a reality. There are men that this can't be successful with women. And I guess for some men that, and it's hard for me to imagine because I've had relationships with women since I was in like 5th, 6th grade. So it's hard for me to imagine, you know, going through life and not having relationships, the grade school, junior high, high school, college relationships. That's hard for me to fathom. That there are people actually in the world that wasn't able to experience that at any generation. You know, what does Slick Rick say? A teenage love. I mean, really, you was just in high school and there wasn't one person that clicked or thought that, you know, your jokes made them laugh? I mean, is that serious for some people? I mean, that's hard for me to fathom. Because, you know, I talked about this the other night when I was at the Mall of America. I sat across. It was a European dude and a little sister, and they was both nerds. So both of these nerds found each other. And there's one thing that I've learned in this world. There's somebody from everybody. Now, maybe it'll take you longer to find it, but I found it many times. And the older you get, you should know what you want. That's it. You should know what you want. And you should know who you are. And what your habits are. And for me, I've been a family man. My oldest son is 33. Even when I was single, I was still a family man. And that's been one of my journeys in life. I'm still, you know, a family man at 61. And I like that. I like that when I'm out and my people see me with my daughter that I'm not really that cool with. Oh, okay, I need to be over here. I'm not that cool with. But she knows. They know me well enough. Damn, my vocals is probably real fucked up for a minute. They know me well enough because they know that she would either be with me or her mama. And of course, a few family friends. I had a crazy lady. I've told this story before. Oh, thank you, Cat Matt. Oh, this is my son.
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
Thank you, Cat Matt.
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
No.
Got to have vision. My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
Thank you for your contribution. And Cat Matt, he's one of the ones that contributed to the Mitsubishi Mirage Fund. Which why we'll be revealing the grand what do I call it? The successful campaign. The successful listen, y'all. I have a successful campaign and I have never put up my Cash App. So that tells you through these ways is I was still successful.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, back the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What time is it? I'm gonna go. Oh shit, it's late. Oh shit, it's late. I probably should bug off because we got some shit to do in the morning. Probably should kill it. Yeah, I'm gonna kill it. I gotta pee again anyway. Thank you all for coming. And for making me so hyped. Uh-oh.
Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Bobby Humphries. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go out. Oh, what? Oh, you want what? Oh, come on now. They say they want it. I gotta find it, y'all. I gotta find it. Oh no. Oh, you're being. That is silly. Okay. Kind of stomped. Oh, it's over here. Yeah. Let's find it. Y'all asked for it. No. Come on, quit playing with me. Quit playing. They playing with me. Oh, gosh. Quit playing. Quit playing. Why they playing with me, y'all? They know what we want, and we want it now. What do we want? We want it now. Oh. Uh-oh. Let's catch it. Let's catch it. Oh, we need to have this in your lives. Y'all need this in your life. You need this in your life. You know you do. You need Smokey in your life. You need Smokey in your life. Let's do that.
What are we doing? 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 I'm sorry, Nick. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, don't get mad at me, Super Sly. That shit is so funny. Oh, the moment he laughed like that, I was like, oh, I got to get that. When he was laughing like, I was like, oh, man, I got to get that. Brother Dick, don't be mad at me either. It's just funny. It's just comedy. It's just comedy, man.
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
That's it. That's how simple my life is. I'm just trying to rescue some kittens. So y'all, thank you for coming. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Might come and do some games. I don't know yet, so we'll see. But let's do a divination. Crazy Sarge came in. What kind of divination should we do? Let's do the Mayan. Let's see if I can do a Mayan divination. All right. We'll give that. What is this? 15, 16. 16. Yeah, I guess. I don't hold up this damn card. Let me put this up here. Should be. Let's see if I can find this. Doesn't quite. No, this isn't what. This is not what I'm looking for. See if there's another way I can express it and not holding up this damn card. That's all right too. What is this? 10. All right. See if there's another way I can put it up here. Let me see if it's under that. I can't spell. Oh, shit. Where is it? Oh, right here. Dyslexia is a motherfucker. Got it that time. Okay, let's look that up. Some junk come up. None of this helps me. None of this helps me. Oh, I know it. No, it's not under that. Oh, well. I'll hold up the card because I can't find what I'm looking for. That's all right, too. This is called The Released Man. All right. A change will upset old ideas and bring a chance for realization. A new way of seeing one's life is possible, and the ambition that drove one now will be played out by a change in circumstance. One divides to secure a piece of the pie. Having the piece one wants, one releases the other piece, the divided man, or the part of the hero twin. The divided man is a mirror image of the hangman who is tied to the past and the now. Hear the now lightning and cast the two out of the past, the knowledge structure of the temple. The two people are left and right hemispheres of the brain, recognizing the vision is to be what it is, what is released from any expectation. One is cast into freedom. One does not choose it. One can't choose it. One can merely wants it, and that want will set one free. All that the fool's attachments of the things he holds on to, the beliefs and reasonings are so logical, are struck by the lightning of the release and burned to the ground. The temple of the eye on the roof of the coma depicted 3 eyes. The middle one is the single ornament. Behind it are twin to 2 others, the eyes of the silent watcher, the quiet, the still, seeing that knows what to do. There are 22 steps on the temple, which are to present the 22 cards of the higher arcana. All that one knows, one must be struck by the lightning and burned to the ground. In the system of knowledge that one has supported, the fool must go, even the system which has taken him this far. So do you understand what knowing really becomes? The system that brought you to this point, you have to burn it behind you. Because until you break through, it will still try to suppress you. The process which with the fool binds knowledge to himself is selective. He is the decider, the divider, and it is inevitable that his house of knowledge built on the sand will fall. That which happens has its own reasons and rarely ever matches the picture that the mind makes of the event. The logic of events does not correspond to the logic of the mind. Understanding cannot be developed. It is not a process that takes place in time, not a cumulative process. It cannot be learned. It can only be invented. It only happens in the moment. Understanding is a lightning bolt that strikes the tower of knowledge and sets it aflame, and the lightning of understanding lights the candle of freedom, all that illuminates the darkness of the fool. Men, perfection is close, and men means, the name of the card. Menon, yeah. Perfection is close, for here the fool is caught in a tide and swell of emotions. There can never be a victory, for no person may conquer the sea. The emotions flow and color the mind's reasonable view of the events. It is folly to think that the ocean will stop its roar, but the heart may hear the music within and rejoice in the splendor of the inevitable. Perfection is close, for here the fool is caught in the tide of swell of the emotions. There can never be a victory, because you can't conquer the sea. The motions of flow color the mind's reasonable view of events. It is folly to think that the ocean will stop its roar, but the heart may hear the music within and rejoice in the splendor of the inevitable. So, the falling man is also burning away any preconceptions, getting rid of the old. And because I give freely, I give that energy out. And I hope you can use that. No cast. Only positivity. So if you can positively, if any person that resonated with, then it was meant for you. And if you just didn't mind listening, I appreciate it. And if I didn't have to pee, I'd keep going, but I gotta pee. Because what did Michael Jackson say? I'm only human, baby. I'm only human.
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
Well, with that said, I'm going to leave it right there. Push that Kundalini to you. Hope it's helpful. Hope you can feel it. My sincerity in pushing it out with wanting nothing in return. I give freely. Thank you for joining. Till we meet again. Say less.